on an all-new Dr. Phil. Is their teenage son...
You need to go to school.
He gets to play video games all day.
...running the household?
Rivers threatened the safety of my field crew.
I swear to God, I'm going to slit their throat.
Certain things trigger him.
Mr. Trigger, meet Mrs. Trigger.
Whenever I get mad, then they kind of back off.
You throw a tantrum, and she leaves.
Basically.
This kid is so entitled, it's incredible. Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
Today's going to be a changing day in your life.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. Now, if you have a teenager, you have my sympathy. No, sure. You know sometimes it's hard to get them out of bed, especially for school. But imagine if the only way to get him out of the door was with a police escort. Well, that's what my guests Angie and Hunter say they faced with their 15-year-old son, Rivers. But they could only call the cops so many times, and now he's been kicked out of his 4th school in 2 years. Take a listen to a little of Angie's struggle.
Rivers, stop it. What are you acting like an animal for?
Dumb.
It's called consequences, Rivers.
I can clean my room, bitch.
Charming. Rivers' Aunt Cindy wrote into the show saying that she is afraid for the safety of the rest of the family because there are 2 other children in this home. Now, she says Rivers has 0 respect, 0 discipline, and suffers 0 consequences and throws tantrums like a toddler when he doesn't get his way. She says that her sister Angie and husband Hunter need severe help with their parenting skills because Rivers has been the boss of the family for too long, and he is just completely out of control. Take a look.
I feel like I'm in an abusive relationship with my 15-year-old son.
I cannot let him see me have this phone or he'll rip it out of my hand and throw it across the room.
We're scared to death of him. We don't know what Rivers is capable of.
It's almost as if he wants to use the most hurtful words that he can.
Bitch!
If I cry, he'll say, "Shut up, you."
Shut the fuck, you.
Me?
Yes, dumbass. Stop crying all the time.
He'll say, "Leave me alone, you slut, you dumb blonde. Quit bothering me, you bitch." I get called a bitch 1,000,000 times a day. Go kill yourself. Go sit in the middle of the road and let a car run you over.
My son called me a
saying I'll never have any social life because you...
I went up to him and I said, "What did you say?" He said, "I called you a
You think I like men? I can knock your teeth in your mouth. Don't you ever call me a
Do it."
And he went, "I'd love to see you try."
He has slammed the door in my face and caused me to have a bloody eye, and his reasoning was, you shouldn't have your face at the door.
He's pushed me onto the hood of the car. He's pushed me through his closet doors. I fell down and he was pointing at me. He said, "Don't with me. I know how to fight." He's 6'2", he's 15, he's physically bigger than me. I have completely lost control of my son.
Now, Angie and Hunter have stopped forcing Rivers to go to school. They just gave up. They're just waiting, I guess, for the courts to step in. Take a look.
Rivers started missing school consistently about 2 years ago.
You need to go to school.
Stop pouting. You're not a fragile little kid.
Rivers last went to school 27 days ago. So next year, he should be in the 11th grade, but he's going to be in 9th grade again.
Rivers,
No.
You got to go to school.
No.
It's law.
No.
I have called the cops 5 times to try to get Rivers just to go to school.
and we'll call the cops.
I am no longer calling the cops on Rivers because he is not afraid.
No.
Cops are not dumb.
Yes, they're so dumb. Oh my God, shut up.
has said, I don't care about the cops. He lives in his room.
He's been living there for 3 weeks now, locked up like a caged animal, and comes out to eat and then goes back to his room and locks himself up.
He plays video games from midnight till 7 in the morning, and then he sleeps from 7:30 in the morning till 5 in the afternoon. We have tried punishing him. If I take River's cell phone away as a consequence, I better be able to run fast, because when he catches me, he takes my wrist as hard as he can and just tries to rotate it as if just trying to break your bone in half. We have thrown our hands up in the air and we call truce. Nothing works.
It's called consequences, Rivers.
I can clean my room, bitch!
So we just don't discipline anymore. Nothing makes a difference.
It makes life tolerable.
I'm very worried that Rivers could harm me or my husband. And I think he would, and he wouldn't be remorseful. It's like we're going down this long journey with no road map, and we don't know where to turn.
It sounds to me like you guys have just given up.
That's one thing that I have resigned myself to when I decided to have children, that I would never, ever give up. I just feel helpless at times. He passed me in height and size, and he's so brazen, and he doesn't have boundaries. He doesn't have any limits. I do, as a father. I'm not going to cross certain lines.
Well, if you had really drawn the line in the sand when he was 4, 5, or 6, this would be a lot easier than it is right now when you're saying, okay, listen to me.
Yes, sir.
Right? But you said you would never give up. I read every word that you say. I listened to a lot of it. I went through and pulled out a lot of terms that I think seeing in one place might mean something to you.
Okay.
No consequence, doing everything that he says he needs, unable to follow through, giving up, lenient, just let it happen. I mean, all of these are just suggest to me that you've caved.
The giving up came whenever Rivers became so violent, and we became fearful of him.
So in order to keep peace for my 4-year-old and my 12-year-old, when these moments get more intense, I just don't know how to control him, but I can make it go away for the moment. And I know when I'm doing these things, I know, Dr. Phil, that I'm making a mistake. But if it went all the way with he and I, we would be in a fist fight on the floor, and I will never hit my son.
So let me get this right. Y'all are here to defend what you're doing then. You're not here to change it.
No, I'm here to change.
You're spending your time defending it. You say, no, there's a context for this. I'm doing it to keep the others safe. I know it's wrong, but I'm keeping the peace.
We're desperate. If it's us, we need help, but we also need help with Rivers because we are fearful of our son.
And I apologize to
it is both.
Make excuses.
No, look, I get it. I've got 2 kids.
Yeah.
Robert, we've raised 2 boys, and I can tell you, these are our 2 boys, Jay and Jordan.
Boy.
And I remember Jay, he's the one on the right. You'll remember this. When Jay was 4 or 5, we were driving on the highway, and he was in the back seat, and he said something really smart-aleck to his mother. And I stopped, I put it in park, and I turned around, and I looked him in the eye, and I said, "Don't you ever speak to my wife that way again." And he heard that, and he'll tell you that today, right?
Yes.
You're letting him speak to your wife like she's some kind of tramp on the street. How does that work?
You know, I never heard those videos. I never heard him in person. I wasn't there when he did that. He slowly started talking that way to his mother without me, and she had to prove that he was saying these things. I would believe her, but I heard the video and couldn't believe it.
What are you acting like an animal for? I'm what?
I get to do this weekend I'm not able to do.
That's right. It's called consequences, Rivers.
I can clean my room, bitch!
That's your wife.
And he usually does it when Hunter's not around, and I've gotten to where I record it because Rivers will completely deny it.
Now, Rivers threatened the safety of my field crew before arrival. Listen to this.
I don't want to do this. Oh, God. I swear to God, I'm going to slit their throat.
They've got a huge, well-oiled machine.
I'm running away. I don't feel like being recorded today. I don't feel like going to Los Angeles and going on a show tomorrow. You know how retarded that sounds?
The problem, one of the things that bothers me is the ignorance that he's showing. He's using offensive and derogatory terms.
He uses them because he knows how much I hate him.
How much we hate it.
Well,
he wants to hurt me so bad sometimes, and the way he does it is with words, because I won't engage him in any other way.
well, when we come back, we're going to find out why Rivers' aunt did write in and says the problem with this family started when Rivers was just 1 year old. And she'll tell us what happened, and I'm going to tell you what I think about all that when we come back.
Rivers knows how to manipulate him. Trust me, trust me. He's controlling you. If there'd been discipline from the beginning, they wouldn't be in this situation that they're in now.
And later, what gives you the right to call your mother a bitch and a slut?
Whenever I get mad or show that I'm like really upset, then they kind of back off.
I tell him I pay rent. If I want to come to the room, I will.
Yeah, you're really tough.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil.
My son's behavior is out of control and downright scary.
Are they here to help their son?
He crashed his grandfather's car. He's killed animals. This is not normal 8-year-old behavior.
Or to defend themselves?
Have you seen him punch the puppy?
I have not.
Todd does not take blame.
She's here thinking she's a movie star.
He thinks he's perfect. Todd, your mom named you Todd, not God.
That's tomorrow.
Rivers' behavior has been very unpredictable for a very long time. We're driving down the road, he'll grab my steering wheel and yank it and get on his back and try to kick the windshield out. Rivers has broken my 4-year-old's toy guitar because he said it was a piece of crap. Rivers throws temper tantrums. I think he was like 14 years old. He actually got in his closet and kicked around like a toddler. Rivers has major impulse control problems.
Angie and Hunter say their son Rivers controls the household with his unruly behavior, but for some reason, he's polite to his Aunt Cindy. Now, she says his anger is always directed at the same people. Take a look.
Rivers has his parents living in fear.
He said if anyone walks in there, he's going to slit their throats.
Angie and Hunter let him rule the house. He is definitely king. Rivers doesn't go to school with 0 consequences. He wants friends over, they come over. He wants something purchased, it's purchased. His life is perfect. Angie and Hunter are desperate for proof that Rivers still loves them. They buy him what he wants. They're trying to earn his affection. Rivers knows how to manipulate him. Trust me, trust me. He's controlling you. If I were Rivers' mother, there is no way this would happen. He would not have the computer, the phone, the musical equipment. I think he's a If there'd been discipline from the beginning, they wouldn't be in this situation that they're in now. They don't stick to their consequences. I have 5 children of my own, and I've never seen a child act like this. Rivers is very much a chameleon. He is sweet to me. I ask him to do something, and he'll do it. His anger and aggression is reserved for his parents. I know that he's hurt my sister, and I know that he's hurt his father. As bad as things are now, things could get a lot worse. It's terrifying. I don't know what level he'll go to next. I'm afraid that he could kill them.
Okay, Cindy, I'm glad you wrote in. I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad to meet you.
Thank you.
Why write in now instead of a year ago or wait a year longer?
It had elevated. I felt like if he gets to 16 and he's given a car, then all bets are off.
Mm-hmm. You're exactly right, by the way. And let me say this. You're teaching him how to treat you. People do what works, and we teach them how to treat us. So if they do A and they get a reward, then they're going to repeat A. Mm-hmm. If they do B and they don't get a reward, then they're not going to repeat B. You repeat those behaviors that you get a payoff for, right?
Yes, sir. You're right. I mean, that's
exactly.
I mean,
I agree with that.
It's just that simple. So why?
So scared of him now that we feel like nothing would work because we're too afraid of him.
The situations.
But you're rewarding bad behavior.
But I feel like, no consequences and all that. I feel like we've also kind of protected our family from how terrible it really was.
You two are child abusers. One of the definitions of abuse is failing to protect children from abuse and danger. You have 2 younger children in the home that are subjected to this young man. You are failing to protect them by allowing him to be the way he is in that home. That, by definition, is abuse. He's actually violating those children, particularly the 12-year-old, correct?
Yes, he's not as violent as he used to be, but yes, he has attacked him in the past.
He's abusing those children. You're allowing that to happen. You can't do that. You cannot do that. That has to stop today.
Yeah.
He loves his 4-year-old.
Yeah.
I'm sure he loves his mother, too, but he calls her bitch. And you cannot subject him to that. Now, so we can agree that he's out of control.
Yes.
Can we also agree with this? It is situation specific.
Very.
There should be 2 things you could conclude from that.
We've endorsed his behavior on a private level. When he's around us, we've endorsed it by not following through. But, God, it's just so intense.
You take his computer away and he'll tear up your house.
It is so intense. I was never given a parent roadmap when I started.
Okay, you're getting one now.
Yeah.
Okay, look. Here are the 2 things I want you to conclude from that. The fact that it's situation specific, number 1, tells you that he has the ability, it is within his behavioral repertoire, to behave appropriately. I'm sorry, but you just don't flip on and off mental illness when you go from one room to another. Wish you could, but it doesn't work that way. Correct?
He was more stable on all the medications that they had him on, I will say that. But he won't take them anymore.
Please acknowledge what I just said.
Yes, absolutely.
Don't change the subject and talk about medication 6 years ago. Do you acknowledge the fact that if this was, in fact, an ingrained mental illness, he wouldn't be able to flip it on and off at will?
I agree.
Well, you're educating me because I thought that the neuroses of it was that they had triggers and certain things trigger him, and
That's my second point.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Trigger, meet Mrs. Trigger.
We agree, but we feel like he wouldn't go to school, so we put him in psychiatric hospital.
Is it just me? What I see here is a spoiled brat kid who gets rewarded for bad behavior. And later, you can't be proud of the way you treat your mother. No. At times, you've been very cruel. What are you so angry about?
Even at a young age, Rivers was always acting out in school and getting in trouble.
He flooded his art class by plugging up the sink. And one time he cut a kid's backpack open and all the books came out. He drew a racist cartoon, got sent to the office, and he got suspended.
He was always a bully.
Rivers has always been defiant. And even then, Angie and Hunter wouldn't discipline him.
He behaves this way with you two for a couple of reasons. Number 1, you trigger it. And number 2, he knows it works. He can get away. He can grab your wrist and twist it, wrestle your phone out of your hand, call you a bitch and slam the door, and he knows there's not one consequence going to come from it. True?
True.
He doesn't go to school, and he gets to play video games all day.
We agree, but we feel like, having the cops come and put him in the back of the cop car and get him to school, and he wouldn't go to school, so we put him in psychiatric hospital, and we've had him on medication and counseling.
Is it just me?
No. Rivers controls them with, when they would call the police to come get him, take him to school, Rivers figured out real quick that if he started using the catchphrase, "I'll run away," well, then the phone calls to the police stopped. Now he realizes I run away doesn't, he's up to I'll kill myself. And so he knows to
He's
up
elevated
the
the threat.
ante to threaten them to maintain control.
I don't know that it's appropriate to fight the war against mental illness with the same quiver of arrows that you do a normal child.
I think there's certainly behavioral dysfunction, but I don't know that there's mental illness here. All signs point to no from my standpoint, but I don't know that. I haven't diagnosed him yet, but I see no indication whatsoever of mental illness here. What I see here is a spoiled brat kid who gets rewarded for bad behavior. That's what I know. Now, there may be mental illness on top of that. There may be mental illness on top of that, and that is yet to be determined, but...
He's had psychological evaluations at all the hospitals, and they've all said the same things.
No matter what I'm saying to the two of you, you're saying, yeah, but. I'm saying, look, he's not going to school and he gets to stay home and play video games. Yeah, but, I mean, we call the police and they say he's not a criminal, so we just got to let him play the video games. Really? I say, look, you're rewarding bad behavior when he gets away with calling you names and twisting your wrist. Yeah, but, I mean, he's bigger than me. Yeah, but, yeah, but, yeah, but. No matter what I say, you're saying, yeah, but. He calls you names, he attacks you physically, he's disrespectful, he does not perform, and you're allowing that to happen. True or false?
True.
True.
And his behavior is situation specific. It happens when there are folks requiring him to do something he doesn't want to do.
Yes.
That's either teachers or parents. He's got a very immature level of problem solving and problem recognition. He's very immature right now, and you're rewarding immature behavior. True or false?
That's true.
Okay. Thank you. Now, what you should be thinking right now is, okay, Baldy, so what do we do instead? Okay, now, he had a seizure when he was 1.
He was 2.
2.
Febrile seizure, yeah.
Scared the bejeebers out of you.
Yes.
I carried my son Jay into the operating room at 4 weeks old. I carried him in. He's on staff at the hospital, and he had to have emergency surgery. Scared me to death. Scared his mother. She ain't over it yet.
Yes, it was horrible.
And you can remember me carrying him in there right this second, can you not?
Yes, he'd been crying so hard to put that IV in. He's just so tiny, and when you were walking down the hall, I could see his little head just still crying and shaking.
I do understand, and it makes you handle that child from the beginning differently than you would handle him if that hadn't happened. Little differences real early on become big differences later on. Your job as a parent is to prepare him for the next level of life.
Yes, sir.
And you're not doing that.
No.
And we need to start doing that. And let me tell you,
Absolutely.
It's not even almost too late. That's the good news.
Thank you.
It's not even almost too late. Well, we're going to meet him. We've been talking about him, so the 15-year-old boss of this house, who's getting ready to get fired, is getting ready to come out. I've got some very important questions for Rivers right after we come back.
My mom definitely nags me the most until she gets what she wants, things over and over and over, and it just kind of bugs me. When it comes to like getting mad, something happens, I'll just let it all out. I just explode on him. I want him to back off, let me do things on my own.
Well, Angie and Hunter say their 15-year-old son sends fear running through the veins of his entire family when he turns violent. And although he's respectful to his Aunt Cindy, Rivers wants his parents to understand why he doesn't need to play by their rules in order to play music professionally. Take a look.
I do have conflict with my parents because I'm not going to school. It just doesn't feel fair to me because that's like my choice. I just feel like it's not going to help me in my life. My mom is very overprotective, like a lifeguard status. She always wants to like be in your room 24/7. It can be too much. My mom definitely nags me the most until she gets what she wants. I don't like hearing the same things over and over and over, and it just kind of bugs me. When it comes to like getting mad, something happens, I'll just let it all out. I just explode on him. I know I shouldn't have done it, but I just know it all builds up from like the week. I call my dad a redneck, and he hates that. I've said dumbass. I'm more of a alone type of person. I'm happiest in my room because that's where everything I love is, like my guitars, microphones, online gaming, friends. When I want to be alone in my room, that's my time. I want to back off, just lay off, and let me do things on my own. They're good parents. They just don't understand me.
Well, Rivers, good to meet you.
Good to meet you, too.
Why are you not going to school?
Because I've taken music as a passion, and just like school just seems like it's not doing anything for me.
And how were you planning on making a living?
I wanted to be a musician.
Do you have an agent?
No, sir.
Do you have a manager?
No, sir.
Do you have a demo reel?
No, sir.
So you're not going to school, and you're not pursuing a music career. You're just playing music for yourself because it's your passion.
Yes, sir.
Uh-huh.
As of now.
What gives you the right to call your mother a bitch and a slut?
It's just like when something's going wrong, I just don't know what I'm doing.
Are you mentally ill?
No, sir.
Would you say you manage people by intimidation?
Whenever I get mad or show that I'm like really upset, then they kind of back off. It seems like my mom, like when she comes in my room a lot and she's like nagging me about something and I just let out, and it seems like she knows that like it's really bothering me. Yes,
I tell him I pay rent, and if I want to come in the room, I will.
Yeah, you're really tough. You throw a tantrum and she leaves.
For a short period of time, then she'll come back.
And then you throw another tantrum and she leaves again.
Basically.
Here are some of the things, according to your mother, that you say. Shut the blank up, you blank. Shut the hell up, blank damn. You're tough. You're not a little blank. Stop crying. I'm tired of you acting like this lately, dumb blank. Stop crying all the time and take your medicine. Stop pouting. You're not a blank. You're not a fragile little kid. I got your phone, blank damn. You're blank dumb. I can clean my blank room, bitch. Go kill yourself. Go sit in the middle of the road and let a car run over you.
Those were so long ago.
Well, let's listen to some that are fairly recent then.
Rivers, you are not allowed to manhandle me like that to my phone.
Shut the up, you. All I did was turn you around and take your phone. Shut the hell up. Damn, you're tough. You're not a little. Stop crying. I'm tired of you acting like this lately.
Me?
Yes, dumbass. Stop crying all the time.
You need to go to school.
Shut up. Stop pouting. You're not a fragile little kid. I got your phone. Damn.
Seriously?
Rivers, meet Mr. and Mrs. Trigger.
Mm-hmm.
I wish that you had the ability to treat me with a little bit more respect, but apparently I haven't taught you to respect me.
I respect him when everything's
you want
fine.
to. When you're getting
When
something
you're getting
your way.
everything you want, when you're getting everything you ask for, when you don't have to go to school, when everything's being handed to you on a silver platter, you treat them wonderful.
All I've ever asked for was not to go to school. So I can...
You're just saying there's nothing at school for me, so I'm not going.
Yes, sir. There's nothing that I want to do that school will do for me.
Your life's getting ready to make a really dramatic change for the better. Why do all the kids in the world have to go to school but you? Why are you entitled to not go to school? I just want to know what's special about you that you get to not go to school.
I'm not the only one that doesn't go to school, but I'm one of the ones that don't go to school because I have something that I want to do instead. There's nothing that I want to do that school will do for me.
Well, that's not up to you. It's the law, and you're a child, and those decisions are made by adults. And, you know, here's your attendance record for the current school year. They've held school for 37 days. You've missed 24. So what entitles you to tell your parents you're not going to do what they tell you to do?
I just don't listen. It's just not what I want to do.
I have a son that is a musician, and he wanted to be a musician. And I said, great. You get your college degree, and I'm all in. I'm all in your music career. And he did, and I was. And he makes an obscene amount of money.
Yes, sir.
But he did that first. And you know what? It's proven to be very, very important for him because he's involved in contracts and managing other bands as well. But you don't have the ability to see that right now because you can't see in advance.
Mm-hmm.
So people older than you can, and you're just saying, no, I'm gonna do it, and they're allowing that to happen. That's wrong. I just need to know. So you're just saying there's nothing at school for me, so I'm not going, right?
Yes, sir.
That's where we are?
Yes, sir.
And that's what you're going to do next week, too, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Without a doubt.
You can't be proud of the way you treat your mother. Are you?
No.
You proud of calling her names? Do you ever feel bad about it right after you do it? I mean, do you think about it when you're in your room by yourself?
Yeah, like the day after.
What do you say to yourself?
I don't say anything. I just think about it.
What do you think?
Why'd I do it?
Mm-hmm. Do you think she loves you?
Yes, sir.
You think your dad does?
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. They've been pretty kind to you, wouldn't you say?
Yes, sir.
But you haven't been kind back. At times, you've been very cruel. What are you so angry about?
How, since I'm not going to school, or like, just how I'm treated different than my brothers sometimes. Like, my brothers will get a lot more chances than me. That's like a big deal. Like, when my brother will do really bad stuff and do the same things I do and scream and cuss and everything, but it seems like since I'm not going to school, which I understand, but like, it just seems like that's something I want to do is not go to school and pursue music, but it seems like I get treated different for it.
You got any questions for me? Because I'll answer anything you want to answer, because your life's getting ready to make a really dramatic change for the better. If your parents listen to me, it's going to make a dramatic change for the better, and you're going to love it. You're going to hate it at first, probably, but you're going to love it ultimately. Okay, well, coming up, we're going to find out about the desperate act this happily married couple has considered to keep their other children safe. We'll be right back.
I would be lying if I said that this has not affected my marriage. We've even had a plan of me living in an apartment separate from the man that I love, just so we can have peace for everybody.
It's like being held hostage in your own home. And as long as you do what he says, nobody gets hurt.
Either me and Rivers would live together and Hunter would raise the other two, or vice versa, just so that someone could have all their attention on Rivers and the other two could live in a peaceful environment.
For some reason or another, we've got the tail wagging the dog. We've got a kid here that is determining things that a kid should not be determining. Do you think when he's 35 and he's not a high school graduate and he's got an exciting career in fast food industry that he's going to look back and say, you know, why am I here?
How can we physically pick him up and take him? I mean,
that's the paper tiger default that you go to, is how do we do that physically? How do we wrestle him to school? It's not about that. It's about understanding that he's just sat here and told you, yes, I scream at my mother because it works. Did you hear him say it?
I did.
He said, she comes in here, I scream at her, she'll leave. And she'll come back, and I'll yell some more, she'll leave again. I mean, he just said, he hasn't been listening to the first part of the show. He just told you what we've been talking about.
So Rivers, when we go home next week and I say, Rivers, get up, it's time to go to school, and I don't come in 10 times, you're going to hop up out of bed, get dressed, and go to school, right?
No, he's already told you that. He said, no, he's not going to school.
So then we're in the same situation.
No, you might be right now, but you're not going to be. He's going to do two things. One's going to be, he's going to say, I'm going to run away. And you know what I would tell him? Is don't run too fast because there ain't nobody chasing you.
That's what I tell him.
And he's going to think he's going to run. He thinks he's going to run fast, but you can't run very fast with his drum set, piano, and guitar on his back. But those are all going to be at home, and he's going to be out there looking around, and it gets like really boring and really cold, and that doesn't work. And then he's going to say, well, okay, then life's not worth living. I'll just kill myself. Okay, if that happens, then you got to do a 5150 and put him in the psych ward and see how he likes that.
We've done that, and they kicked him out in 7 days. I mean.
And then you put him right back in.
We did, and they kicked him out in another 7 days.
But you don't understand. This is a war of attrition, and you've got to be willing to win the war of attrition.
We're not giving up.
Oh, yes, you are, because you're telling me whatever I say, you're saying, yeah, but. So I'm going to give you two options here, and you're going to choose from those two options or pass, one of the two. But I'm going to tell you what I recommend, but it's your decision. If it works, it's going to be because you made it work, not me. If it goes off in the ditch, it's going to be because you ran in the ditch, not me. It's your decision. You're going to have to own it. I'm going to tell you what they are right after the break. I've written a book called Family First, and I talk in Family First about commando parenting. And I'm going to give you guys a copy of this book before you leave, and for all of you at home, I'm going to take the commando parenting section. I'm going to put it on the internet for you so you don't even have to buy the book. But this is something that requires total immersion on your part. And with commando parenting, you go back to ground zero. That means it's all gone. His bedroom has a twin bed, sheet, pillow, and a blanket, and that's it. This kid is so entitled, it's just incredible. And if he wants to come out there and call you a bitch, he's going to be in there with a sheet and a blanket for a long time. If he wants to start saying, okay, you know what? I'm going to realize that they reward good behavior now instead of bad behavior. I'm going to start doing good behavior. Now, I will give you a second alternative. There is a place that I have great confidence in called Turnabout Ranch. And Turnabout Ranch is just what it says. It is a ranch. It is a real working ranch with real values that are taught to create real lasting change. And it combines therapy, academics, and hard work to achieve really powerful results. And they work with students ages 13 to 17 who are struggling with a range of emotional and behavioral issues. And the students learn leadership and teamwork and accountability and responsibility. That's what I have to offer you. That's my advice to you.
You've been very concise, and I know and trust in what you've said. I own up to my part. I would like to take your generous offer to put my son in that care facility, and I would also like to immediately take care of his room and have it prepared for him, as you've suggested, when he comes back.
While he's gone, you two have a lot of work to do.
Yes.
I agree, sir.
And I will provide that for you as well.
Please.
Okay. All right. I want to thank all of my guests today. A special thanks to Turnabout Ranch for offering to help this very deserving young man, Rivers. I think he's lost his way, but it is never too late. And I think he can be an absolute star. For more information about today's show, log on to drphil.com. Tell us what you think. You can find me on Facebook and Twitter as well. We'll see you next time. Thanks. I hope you give this your practice shot.
this has been a really, really hard last hour and a half. We are going to convert to commando-style parenting, but only after you return from Turnabout Ranch.
From here, we're going to get your bag, we're going to go out to the car, and you're going to be headed to Turnabout Ranch.
Oh my gosh. I promise I'll change everything. I know this is just like me trying to wiggle out of something, but I swear I will change everything if you just let me stay home. I just want to be around everybody, because I feel like if I learn how to be good around y'all, then I'll be good. There's no way I can do this. I just can't. Like, I physically cannot do this.
Look at me.
Hunter,
no, I love you.
No, listen.
This is for you.
Dad, no, listen to me. No, stop walking. I'm your son. They are not.
I know.
No, listen. I swear I will change everything. If you just let me stay with y'all as long as I can.
I want to say one thing. The promises that you make to me right now, they are hollow.
No. Hey, Dad, if you would, if you don't mind.
Yeah. Okay.
We love you.
Love you very much.
Today on an all-new Dr. Phil, she claims her mother-in-law.
You're trying to run her off. You've got no trespassing signs.
She got a restraining order against me after she took one out against me.
Is really a monster-in-law.
Weren't y'all chasing each other around the truck? Didn't you clothesline her?
No.
So you happened to have your arm out and she ran into her.
I did.
Whose side will he take?
Where would you like your chair?
Can I sit next to you?
Hell no. Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
Today's going to be a changing day in your life.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you.
We know 16 years ago, Greg and Amanda secretly married during college. Now, Greg's mother, Kathy, says when she found out, she showed her support by buying the newlyweds a plot of land adjacent to her home so they could build a house of their own. Pretty nice, right? Well, Amanda claims her mother-in-law may initially have come across as elderly and sweet, but over the years has turned into a monster-in-law who is a lying, vindictive, manipulative snake. Sweet. But Kathy claims Amanda has anger problems, has threatened to set her house on fire with her in it, punched Kathy in the side of her head 5 times before taking out a restraining order against her. She wants Amanda out of her son's life for good. Now, the two women haven't spoken in over a year, till today. And in the midst of all of this madness, Greg and Amanda divorced, but with benefits, as they were still secretly seeing each other until 2 weeks ago when they broke up again. You got a dance card for all this? Amanda says she now has an ultimatum for her husband turned ex-husband turned boyfriend turned ex-boyfriend. Greg, choose between me, your mom. You got to pick one. Take a look.
Greg and I were married 15 years ago, and we were divorced 2 years ago. I want to remarry my ex-husband, Greg, but my mother-in-law, who is also my neighbor, has made my life a living hell.
There's my house. There's my mother-in-law's house.
Kathy acts like a monster-in-law. Kathy comes across as a nice old lady, but she definitely isn't. She has thrown dog poop on my yard.
That is where my children witnessed her come over and throw dog poop.
She's put up no trespassing signs. She treats me like I'm a criminal and not her daughter-in-law. She's a control freak. She is just set on ruining my relationship with Greg. Greg and I got back together 2 months ago. He came home and wanted to give it 100%. Kathy does not want us together. Kathy is pissed that she footed the bill for his divorce, paid $40,000, and we're now back together. I haven't had a civil conversation with my mother-in-law in over 1.5 years. Kathy has scared me to death multiple times by taking my children without my permission. She tells my children that your mother is a lying little bitch that cannot be trusted. Kathy's a snake in the grass. To everyone else, she's so kind and helpful. But behind closed doors, she's so mean and vindictive. Kathy and I got in a physical altercation when she tried to keep my children from me. Greg and I were arguing, and Kathy jumps right in the middle and tries to break it up. Kept putting her forearm up to block me, and her forearm slipped off my chest and hit me in the mouth. I punched her in the face several times. Greg and I are trying to build a life together again. Kathy just doesn't want that to happen. It's infuriating.
Okay, now, tell me what you hope happens today.
Greg can be told how to put his mother in her place, to respect me as the mother of my children, to respect us as parents, to stop meddling, respect boundaries.
Let's be realistic here, okay? You really think that the solution to this is that Greg is going to put his mother in her place? I mean, I know that'd be great. I know that's your home run. That'd be like, oh, hey, Dr. Phil, you nailed it,
Yeah.
buddy. But, I mean, do you really think that's going to happen?
I think it should. I mean, I don't think that my mother-in-law should take control of my children and just take them and do whatever she wants.
You accused her of kidnapping when she did that.
I said, yes. I said it was kidnapping.
Okay, let's take a look at the definition of kidnapping. To restrain a person with intent to prevent his liberation by either A, secreting or holding him in a place where he is not likely to be found, or B, using or threatening to use deadly physical force. Now, that's kidnapping.
Okay, so not to that extent.
Okay, but that's my point. There's all this fiery rhetoric going on here that's explosive. I mean, this is a kidnapping, abduction in New York State, Part 135.00. Kidnapping, threatening to use deadly force, holding him in a place where they're not likely to be found. That's the language you're using. Are we using fiery, explosive rhetoric here?
Kidnapping may not be the correct word
Oh, I've
now
got
that it's
more.
put out like that, but for someone to take my child from my home without notifying either parent,
Not
to me
saying
is
that's
not
okay. And you describe her as being passive-aggressive, lying, sneak, vindictive snake.
Yes.
This is his mother.
Correct.
Okay, but I'm not saying that doesn't feel good to say, and it's not good venting, but this is his mother. Do you really think that he's going to say, okay, well, now, Mom, come on, you are a vindictive snake. Now, come on, you are a vindictive snake, and you are a lying bitch. Now, come on. Are we being realistic? Because I'm just wondering what you really want. Are you wanting to vent and put her in her place, or are you really looking for a solution here?
I'm looking absolutely a solution.
You said Kathy would be happy if you dropped dead tomorrow so she could mother your children.
Absolutely.
The vindictive snake wants you dead.
Yeah, I truly believe that.
Mm-hmm. Did you think about getting married when you were younger?
Yes,
Did you, like, rehearse it in your bedroom?
absolutely.
When you were dreaming of your marriage scenario, did you, in your dream, which is all kind of fuzzy around the edges and everything, did you envision punching your mother-in-law on the side of the head 5 times?
Not at all.
Punch her in the head 5 times? Punch her in the face?
Nope, that was not part of my dream. Absolutely not.
You made a list of why you think that she's the mother-in-law from hell. I made a list of things that you said. She thinks her son could do better. She didn't invent that.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. I mean, nobody's good enough for your kid, right?
Probably, yes.
Okay. She refuses any communication.
Yes.
Doesn't want to talk to you. I mean, you did punch her in the head 5 times. She's called the police for trespassing.
Yes.
She put up trespassing signs and called the police. She throws dog poop in the yard?
Yes. My children witnessed that.
Where does she get it?
From her yard.
Well, she does have a dog. She's not out collecting this in the neighborhood.
No. She gets it from her yard and she walks up and throws it in my yard.
She intervenes in domestic situations. She injects herself in, right?
Yes.
She takes her son's side.
Yes.
Shocking.
Even when she admits that he's wrong.
Yeah. She told you that you look like a witch, just like your mother?
Yes.
She takes your children without permission, and she took them, like, to McDonald's or something?
No, she took them to a diner and then was going to take them to the mall, but I had no knowledge that they were even gone until I came home to an empty house.
Right.
And it's happened several times.
And you say she's called you a lying bitch in front of the children?
Yes.
She's put up the no trespassing signs around her house.
Yep.
Clearly aimed at you. I mean, it wasn't...
Well, it was on my side of the field, yeah.
Yeah. Aimed at your house.
Yes, absolutely.
And you say she teaches your children to disrespect you?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So those are things that are not constructive in your opinion?
Correct.
Okay. Well, Amanda says she hasn't spoken to her mother-in-law, Kathy, in over a year. So you'd think, how can they not get along if they're not even speaking? Well, that's about to change because we're going to bring Kathy out here. And like I've said, no matter how flat you make a pancake, it's got two sides. We're going to flip this one over and look at the other side. We'll be right back.
I don't believe Amanda is the right person for my son. Her behavior is so erratic, you don't know what to expect. The last time she was at my house, she threatened to burn my house down while I was sleeping.
And later, Greg, how are you?
Hi, Dr. Phil.
Doing all right?
Nice to meet you.
I kind of have them on opposite sides for obvious reasons. Where would you like your chair?
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil, a teenage runaway.
I chased her down the road, and she's screaming horrible things. I will put you right in front of the cops, I swear.
She has a 35-year-old boyfriend.
I got a call that this man was shooting at her.
I jumped out a window and ran to my neighbor's house.
He shot your 84-year-old neighbor in the leg.
Charged with attempted murder.
Did he attack you?
I'm not going to answer that.
Are you protecting him?
That's tomorrow.
Kathy disregards boundaries. When Greg and I were married, Kathy would just come over to the house and open up my door and just walk in. Sometimes we'd be sleeping and she'd come in and just start talking to us. It kind of creeped me out. When my first son was born, she showed up to the hospital. I did not want her there. Kathy was in the hospital room for my entire delivery. She has made fun of me about the pain I was in and about the fact that I screamed and scared every other woman in the hospital. Making fun of something like this when you got to witness the birth of your first grandchild, that's just not normal.
I'd still be screaming. Amanda says she admits cheating on her husband, Greg, in retaliation for him having an affair with a 19-year-old exotic dancer, which he denies. Now, Greg petitioned for divorce 4 years ago, and it was finalized last year. Now, despite all of this, Amanda says she does want to remarry him. So what's the problem? Well, Amanda says her meddling mother-in-law, snake in the grass, Kathy, is dead set against it. Take a look.
I never imagined that Amanda and Greg would be together and have a long-term relationship. Their relationship is very volatile. Her behavior is so erratic, you don't know what to expect. She has mood swings and anger issues. The last time she was at my house, she threatened to burn my house down while I was sleeping. It was a big scene in front of Greg and his children. I put up a no trespassing sign on my property, but Amanda took it down thinking it was on her property.
That area right there is where the no trespassing signs were repeatedly put up.
My ex-daughter-in-law and I are not on speaking terms at this time. About 3 years ago, Amanda became very irate and threw her phone at my truck, which Greg was driving. She began to chase him around the truck to try and hit him and kick him, so I put my arm out and blocked her from getting to Greg. She was so angry and frustrated, she started punching me in the side of the head. Greg did tackle her down and hauled her till the police came. The next morning, Amanda filed restraining orders against my son and me. I left a message on her answering machine. She called the sheriff's office and told him that I had violated the protective order. I was handcuffed and was arrested. That was probably the most humiliating moment of my life. I do not think that Greg and Amanda should be together. I don't believe Amanda is the right person for my son. I don't know if she ever will be.
Okay, it's good to meet you, and you've been listening to everything backstage, right?
Yep.
Anything you want to comment on that you've heard so far?
I was invited to the birth of my grandson. I did not intrude on that.
Who invited you?
Amanda.
No, I did not. Greg called her from the hospital and said, Amanda's progressing, we'll keep you updated. She just shows up on her way to work. And I told Greg, make her leave.
Well, let's look at some of Amanda's behavior according to Kathy. She says, in December of '09, Amanda never paid back her portion of a $10,000 loan. August 14, punched Kathy 5 times in the side of her head. May 2016, excluded her from her children's concert.
I was told that I had to leave.
She had a restraining order against me.
Threatened to burn the house down with you in it, and so a restraining order was taken out. You say that she harassed a girl that was a friend of Greg's. June 15 of this year, arrested for stalking. There was a TRO issued about that. September 17, accused you of kidnapping the children.
Yes.
Were you stalking some girl?
I sent her a text message in January, told her to stay away from my children. The police came and arrested me 6 months later.
Well, I'm going to quit texting people. That's all you did?
Yeah.
What if your son is in love with the mother of his children?
Then he has to make that decision of what to do with it.
And he has.
But he has told me he's never going to get married again.
Well, what if he's in love with her and really wants to spend the rest of his life with her?
I'm willing to open the door.
But you're trying to run her off right now.
I just don't want her near me.
Well, you don't want her near him either. Come on.
Do I want him with her at this time? No, I don't think it's a good idea. Yeah. I'm not chasing her away. I'm just not. I told him he's an adult. If he believes...
Well, you've got up no trespassing signs.
No,
you've got a
that was months and months and months ago, months and months and months ago.
Well, but we're adding all this stuff up. You did take out a restraining order against her.
After she took one out against me.
When she punched you in the head, wasn't there a fight going on?
Yes, there was a disagreement.
Like, chasing each other around the truck?
I wasn't. She and Greg were.
And she came running by, and didn't you clothesline her?
No, I didn't clothesline her. I had my arm out like that on the truck.
Did she happen to run into your arm?
Probably.
And Dr. Phil, Greg told her several times to go in the house, get out of it. She won't.
He told me to go call 911.
So you didn't clothesline her, but you happened to have your arm out and she ran into it.
I did.
And then she got up and punched you in the head.
She didn't fall down. She just punched me in the head.
Well, so he is here. Greg says that she gave him an ultimatum to choose her or his mother. Well, he's going to be out here in a minute. We'll see what he has to say.
Amanda is incredibly jealous of my mother. Amanda feels that I'm being disloyal to her, and I believe that it's a little crazy. Part of me wants to be with Amanda, and a part of me wants to run for the hills.
And later, what are you so angry about?
I'm angry that she badmouthed me to my children.
That is not true.
You didn't call me a lying little bitch that can't be trusted to my son?
You're just a loser, Paul.
You're the failure of a parent. You're the failure of a parent.
Why are you dating a 14-year-old child? That's a 4th-degree felony.
You have no job. You were living in the car.
I have 2 vehicles.
Does the other one have a windshield?
My stepdad is guilty of molesting me and my sisters.
You know what you did.
I didn't do what you said I did.
Oh, yes, you did.
Your daughter's 14. You say, I'm giving her dope because all kids smoke dope anyway.
You have messed her up.
You just want to turn it into I'm the bad guy.
You are providing your child with alcohol, allowing her to have sex. You are committing a crime.
Plus, a woman he's never met.
My fiancée, Kimberly, is a truly awesome woman.
She's currently stuck in Amsterdam.
And she needed money to get home.
An act of betrayal.
You didn't send Kim any money? No, I didn't. scam me out of $200,000, and if I could find you, I'd kill you.
A shocking revelation.
She's not in Amsterdam. She's here. Come on out.
I call Greg a mama's boy.
My son loves me, but I don't feel like he's a mama's boy.
Since Greg's father died, Greg feels obligated to be there for his mother.
He goes his own way, he does his own thing, but he is there to help me when I need him.
He has allowed my mother-in-law to get involved in our personal business for way too long.
Amanda is envious of the relationship that we have. She knows that whatever happens, Greg loves me. And I don't think she has that certainty with their relationship.
Well, Amanda says her 16-year marriage to Greg, 16 years, ended when he petitioned for divorce, and it was finalized last year. Now, Amanda says she wants to remarry Greg, but she says master-in-law Kathy is sabotaging her efforts. Now, Greg admits he's stuck in the middle and not even sure if he wants to reconcile with his angry ex-wife.
My life is a crazy mess right now. I divorced my wife 4 years ago, and now she wants to get remarried. Part of me wants to be with Amanda, and a part of me wants to run for the hills. My mother and Amanda are constantly fighting, and I'm always in the middle. When Amanda and I finally started to patch things up, my mother started to give me the cold shoulder, and we don't spend time together anymore. Amanda is incredibly jealous of my mother. If my mother asks me to come over and spend time with her, I will absolutely do that. Amanda feels that I'm being disloyal to her, and I believe that it's a little crazy.
I'm at the point in my life where I feel like I don't need to have that drama.
Amanda has called me names like ass and Amanda needs to remember that my mother has always helped us. My mother gave us money to buy our first home. He helped get Amanda enrolled in college, and we also lived with her. My mother has treated Amanda very well, and Amanda has not reciprocated. Amanda thrives on the drama, and it has become a vicious cycle. My mother can't stand Amanda because she's very loud and vulgar. My ex-wife blames my mother for everything. There's one thing that Amanda and my mother have in common, and it's a love for Dr. Phil. If there is a way my family can move forward, it's going to be with Dr. Phil's help.
Greg, how are you?
Hi, Dr. Phil.
Doing all right?
Nice to meet you.
Good to see you. I kind of have them on opposite sides for obvious reasons. Where would you like your chair?
It doesn't matter to me.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. I didn't want to presume.
Can I sit next to you?
Hell no. Just tell me where.
Why don't you put the chair over here?
Okay, it's up. I didn't want to presume.
No, it's fine. Sitting in one position doesn't necessarily mean that much to me.
Why are you two divorced?
There was a long time when we were married that things were not good, and it ultimately, infidelity is what caused me to file for divorce.
Right. And infidelity...
On Amanda's behalf, yes.
She said she did it in retaliation to you being involved with some stripper.
Correct.
True?
Yes.
That's what she says.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's true that you said that.
Yes.
Is it true that you did that?
Emotionally, yes. Physically, no. So was I corresponding, talking to another female? Yes. Did I ever touch her? No.
She sent you nude pictures, though.
So, yes, that was definitely a mistake on my behalf.
She sent you some...
Photos.
Pictures, yeah. Did you send her something?
I don't recall. I mean, this was years ago. I don't remember if I sent her pictures. There was definitely a lot of correspondence going back and forth.
Yeah.
I certainly have never taken nude photos of myself and sent them to anyone, ever.
Okay, well, that's good.
She might have taken pictures of me, but I didn't.
Well, that's a different story. So you don't know everything.
I don't know about that.
You two both ran some red lights in that regard.
Absolutely.
And That's why you ultimately filed for divorce?
Yes.
But then you got back together. You started seeing each other again.
A few times.
Yeah, we actually spent the night together the night before we signed our divorce papers. And we're cooking dinner together when the lawyers called us and told us we were officially divorced.
Why were you doing that?
Because I still do love her.
What attracted you to her to begin with?
We've known each other most of our lives. I guess it was the attitude and the sass originally that I was drawn to.
I've always been loud and vulgar, Dr. Phil. This isn't anything new.
That's true. It's just gotten a lot worse.
Yeah. Did she stalk your girlfriends?
He was sleeping with a lot of people. Yeah, I'd get upset. He was playing me.
Did she stalk your girlfriends that you've had?
She has definitely done some things to that effect, yes. I know she was arrested, and I know that it was because of a stalking charge.
Was this the girl whose car got vandalized?
Negative.
It was a different girl?
Correct.
But another girl that was a friend of yours?
I was dating that girl.
You were dating that girl?
Yes.
And her car got vandalized?
Yes, at my house.
It was keyed and spray painted with whore, and did you do that?
No, I didn't even know she was here.
So she was from out of town?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was sleeping with a lot of people.
So her car got vandalized, and you don't know anything about it?
Greg and I think the longest we went since we split up was maybe a month or two. And then I'd be on his couch, and I'd find out that he'd be entertaining this one or entertaining that one. And yeah, I'd get upset. And I'd leave his house, and I'd call them. It wasn't just like he was seeing these people, and I was out of the picture. He was playing me. And yes, I would want this female to know that I was still in the picture and that he was doing us both dirty.
But you said you would be loud and crude and...
The one that got the stalking charges, I literally sent her texts. I went to her house that night to speak to her to tell her to stay away from my children. She literally saw me walking up her driveway and fell in her own living room. I walked away, and then him and her broke up just a few weeks after.
Well, I thought you only sent her a text. You said, and then you went by there?
The same night, yes.
Oh, so you sent her a text and went by there?
Yes.
We left that out before.
Yeah.
And she fell down in her living room?
Yes, when she saw me walking up the driveway.
She just fell over?
Pretty much. Pretty much.
I hate it when that happens.
Me too, yep.
Yeah. She just fell over.
I mean, she didn't fall aside. She kind of like fell straight down. Like
How do you know? You were walking away.
No, when I was walking up, I saw her through the big windows next to the door.
Oh, she's watching you out the door, and she
out
just
the window,
did
yes.
the face plant.
Kind of, yeah. I guess she didn't want me to know she was there. I knocked, she didn't answer, so I left.
And she got a restraining order?
6 months later, yes.
Yeah, that was the last time you had any contact with her?
Yes.
There's something that goes on in relationships that you need to learn about. It's called outrageous overshadow.
Okay.
And it happens in relationships a lot. And this would be a good thing for you to learn.
Okay.
And it's a circumstance wherein the behavior of one partner is so noisy, outrageous, and over the top, the other partner gets a free pass for their own inappropriate or dysfunctional behavior.
Very much agreed.
See, you do stuff that's so attention-getting that anything he might do pales in comparison, and you get so much attention that it's like, well, he gets free pass. It's whatever he does. Because
sounds about right.
It's called outrageous overshadow.
Okay.
You think you set yourself up that way?
Yes, I would say that pretty much describes it.
There you learned something. Amanda says that Kathy needs to respect her as a mother, but Kathy says respect is something a mother earns. We'll be right back.
I feel like I've had to act as a mother and father because Amanda has not been an adequate parent. I don't think she's been there emotionally for the children.
She yells at the kids, and she has a hard time communicating with the kids, especially when she's angry or they do something that she doesn't like.
My mother-in-law, Kathy, has brainwashed our children. Kathy thinks my children are her children.
Greg is the most important thing to her, and she's more focused on him than anything.
Do you have an anger issue?
Maybe a little bit, yes, but I don't just scream and yell at them for no reason. You know what I mean? I have 2 teenage boys who are just as bold as me. So, I mean, I don't scream and yell at them all the time. Do I yell a lot? Yeah, probably.
Here's a quote from Greg. He says that until she addresses her anger issues, just don't see a future.
Can I tell you when he said that?
I'll say it right now. You have anger issues that you need to deal with. I don't have time for that.
He says he said it to you last week when you threw him out.
I did throw him out because she took our son. I found where they were with the help of another parent.
At the diner.
I walked into the diner. I looked at my son. I said, get up and come with me. I did not speak to her. I did not say anything to her.
Greg gave me permission.
And when I called Greg, he said he had no knowledge of you taking him anywhere. You said, I'm not sure. Mom may have taken him.
When you called me, I said, if he's not there, Mom probably took him to his friend's house.
And the whole time everything was going on with all that, you never mentioned that you had talked to her any time. That didn't come up till we came here, that he said that he talked to her.
What are you so angry about?
What am I so angry about? Mm-hmm. I'm angry that she thinks that she can remove my children from my home. I'm angry that she badmouths me to my children.
That is not true.
You didn't call me a lying little bitch that can't be trusted to my son?
No.
You never heard that either?
I've heard it, but not in front of the kids.
The kids are the ones that came home and told me.
We don't discuss you, Amanda.
Now, you have said things that are inappropriate.
Thank you.
You have.
Thank you.
I probably
Directly
have.
to the children.
We have all made mistakes in this situation. All of us.
I would admit to that.
But only when he says it. When I say that you do it, you don't admit to it. I'm a liar. But when he just sit here and says, oh, yes, you do, oh, now I'll admit to that.
I mean, what she has said to me personally, I can attest to. I can't attest to what she said when I'm not around.
The children
so I can't give
and they tell me.
I can't tell you that because I don't know. That's hearsay, secondhand information. She certainly didn't kidnap our son.
She took him without letting either parent know where he was going. I called you, Greg, do you know where our son is? You didn't say, I talked to Mom last night. You didn't say any of that. You assumed that your mom had him because the only way he can get off our property in a vehicle is if one of the 3 of us takes him. You and I didn't have him.
You know that as well.
Obviously, you guys didn't invent daughter-in-law, mother-in-law problems. I'm going to talk about the 7 biggest mistakes mother-in-laws and daughter-in-laws make after the break, and we'll let you grade your own paper, see how you're doing. Okay. I said there are mistakes that mother-in-laws make. And there's a lot of research about this. I'm not just making these up. And you don't do them all, but you do some of them.
Probably have some.
Like, mother-in-law stop by unannounced, big mistake. They assume their daughter-in-law wants their advice. Big mistake.
Yep.
They have a belief that the mother-son relationship won't change after marriage. Oh, yes, it will.
Sure.
They often put pressure on the daughter-in-law to have children. Offering help with disciplining children or housework. Let me show you how to do this better. Trying too hard to be nice. Or criticizing your daughter-in-law to your son.
Okay.
Bad mistakes. Daughter-in-laws make mistakes. Being too thin-skinned. Letting things slide at the start. Taking a confrontational stand too quickly. Expecting equal treatment as the son. You're not going to get equal treatment as the son. He's the son. Not showing respect to his mother. This is his mother. Failing to put yourself in her shoes and recognizing, being empathetic to what she's going through, or criticizing her son to her. Those are the big 7 that each side makes. Now, look, what you need to do is take a step back and support this relationship healing if it can.
Okay.
And whatever the rules of their house are, you need to respect them. And for God's sakes, do not use your children as levers to get back at or hurt her. Because what you do when you do that is you penalize those children. It is so important for children to have extended family in their life. It is so important for those children to feel grandmother love.
Absolutely.
And she should respect the rules and leave messages and get permission. And there is not one thing I can tell you that I would let her watch my grandchildren. Right now, today, I would let her watch my grandchildren, and there's damn sure no reason you should be afraid for her to watch yours. I can tell you that. I will give her my stamp of approval. She can watch your grandchildren. To me, I don't think anybody here is to blame for this situation being off track here. I don't think she is a spawn of Satan's snake.
Thank you.
I really don't. I don't think she has a bad intent. I think she is misguided and does not respect boundaries. I don't think that your son has hooked up here with some wild-eyed, bipolar, out-of-control witch. I just don't. I think she has good intent. I just think she has allowed herself to vent a bit often and loudly. And I think that doesn't make her a bad person. It just means that she's making some bad choices. And I think you are playing the, gee, I'm in the middle here, and I'm in a tug-of-war between my mother and my wife. No, you're not. There's no divided loyalty here. You love your mother 100% your entire life. You should today, you should tomorrow, and you should for the rest of your life. It's your mother. Love her 100%. There's no choice to be made here. There's no choice to be made here. You love your mother 100%. And you can love your wife 100%. It's a different account. You don't love your mother romantically. You love her maternally. Those are different accounts. You can love your mother 100% and not cost you one dime. Him loving her is not at your expense.
I know that.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
Okay.
There's a part of you that resents the other woman.
If you say that's true.
I do say that's true, because it is.
Okay.
And I'm not saying that you consciously want to possess him and let him be a surrogate in your life, but your life would be better if Scotty just beamed her up. If she was just not there and he was there with the kids, and you would just, she gets in the way sometimes. Not always, but sometimes.
It would be better if they just had a stable relationship.
Well, we're going to work on that. You two need to decide. We're going to seriously work this out if we can, so we can look at these children and give them an honest, mature answer. You need to figure out why you have such a chip on your shoulder, because you do, and it has nothing to do with her. It was there before she came along. It was there before he came along. So I'm going to arrange, handpicked, to get you guys some help to work through this marital situation. give me 90 days. And if at the end of 90 days, the path is not clear to putting this back together, fine. But trust me, when you get a divorce, you don't end your problem, you just change it for a new set. You already know that. Yep. Give me 90 days. You know, I always say I won the in-law lottery. Robin's mom was an inspiration in so many ways. She's a big part of why Robin takes such great care of herself.
She really was, and because of her, I started in my 20s, early 30s, focusing on my health, not just for the outside, but for the inside. I exercised and I ate right, and I wanted to be heart healthy. And also for the outside, I stayed out of the sun, and I really took care of my skin. And one of the most important things I've done over the past 30 years is to exfoliate. I think it's so important to get rid of the dead skin and all of this makeup and just everything from the environment. So I created my Polish to Perfection Exfoliating Scrub. Has Ecuadorian ivory seed powder. It gently lifts away this dead skin, ensuring a healthy glow.
Well, Robin's Polish to Perfection can be on its way to you with just a few clicks at robinmcgrawrevelation.com.
And you know, after polishing, finish it off using my Welcome Back Youth Serum. It contains a stable form of vitamin C and retinol, 2 ingredients best for refining pores and improving the texture of your skin.
So what you put on top of my head all the time?
I do. I put everything on your head. Everything.
This is a test palette
Look
for
how
all
cute
this
it looks.
stuff. I'm like lab boy.
Yes, he is.
Anyway, you can find Welcome Back Youth and Polish to Perfection at robinmcgrawrevelation.com or on the top of my head, wherever you want to find it. And while you're there, be sure to check out all of her amazing products. And for our audience, Robin's not sending you all home empty-handed. You're all getting Welcome Back Youth Serum and her Polish to Perfection Scrub. Okay, I want to thank all of our guests today. We'll see you next time. So long.
Today on an all-new Dr. Phil, a teenage runaway.
I chased her down the road, and she's screaming horrible things.
I will put you right from the cops, I swear.
She has a 35-year-old boyfriend.
I got a call that this man was shooting at her.
I jumped out a window and ran to my neighbor's house.
He shot your 84-year-old neighbor in the leg.
Charged with attempted murder.
Did he attack you?
I'm not going to answer that.
Are you protecting him? Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
Today's going to be a changing day in your life.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. It was just 2 days ago I received an email from a father who says he is desperate to save his 17-year-old daughter. Now, Mark and his ex-wife, Melissa, say that at just 13 years old, Malia began running away, dropped out of school, and became physically abusive to the family. But they say nothing could have prepared them for what was to come. Mark and Melissa say that when Malia was 15 years old, she became involved with a 35-year-old man. A man police claim had a sexual relationship with her and kept her from leaving the bedroom that they shared on one occasion, shooting at an elderly neighbor when he tried to help the girl. Now, until just 6 days ago, Malia and the man she calls her boyfriend were allegedly on the run. That is, until they were finally located living in the woods in Oregon and apprehended by law enforcement. Now, Malia was taken into protective custody and returned to her parents. Her boyfriend, Charles Jackson, was charged with offenses including contributing to the sexual delinquency of a minor, strangulation, and possession of a firearm, to name just a few. Now, he has pled not guilty to all of these charges and is currently awaiting trial. We've reached out to Jackson and his lawyer for comment, but have not yet heard back from them. Mark and Melissa say that they fear if they can't get through to their daughter, she could end up back in the arms of this older man or another one just like him. Take a look.
Malia started running when she was about 13.
Every time she ran away, we reported her as a runaway. Things changed drastically when Malia met the boyfriend. Malia was 15 when she started a relationship with a 35-year-old man. Malia believes that she loves this man.
Malia came back from being with this man that she had visible scars and visible wounds on her. And Malia would say that I fell or I walked into a tree, but then she would tell her friends that the man took her head and slammed it into a car door because he was mad at her.
On June 21st of 2017, I got a call from Malia telling me that this man was shooting at her.
She was able to jump out of a window, run to a neighbor's house. The man followed with a gun and shot the neighbor.
It didn't feel good, I'll tell you.
On September 19th, I received a call in the evening that they had caught the man and Malia was with him.
When the boyfriend was apprehended and Malia was found, our entire family cheered.
Now, in the interest of fairness and balance, I have to say that this man has been charged, but he has been convicted of nothing. He has pled not guilty, and what we have is the parents' opinion and Malia's report of what has happened. Now, we have what's in the police report, but the man's not here to defend himself, so in fairness, I want to say these are allegations. Now, at the request of her parents and to ensure the safety of everyone involved, we enlisted transporters to accompany Malia here to L.A. Here's what happened to Malia when the transporters arrived on her doorstep.
When Malia found out that the transporters were outside, she completely lost it.
When we showed up on scene, the situation was completely out of control.
I'll kill you!
There was attacks occurring in the street.
You got the way. Get the away from me, bitch!
The father called the police at my request simply because we had now what it looked like an assault in the streets.
I'll punch you right in front of the cops, I swear to God I will.
I chased her down the road, and she's screaming horrible things.
So what is your plan?
Our plan is to take temporary legal custody, temporary power of attorney with your permission.
I just want to get this signed so we can get her the help that she needs right now.
Just for the sake of keeping the baby, she's going with mom to have a little bit of breather time.
And the dad's phone rang, and it's Malia. Malia says, I want to talk to Mike.
Yeah, honey, he will come and talk to you, okay?
Absolutely, I'll be right there. Thank you for letting me come.
We discussed root issues, but you're still going to sign the paperwork because I can't do this without temporary guardianship and power of attorney.
There you go. When I think about what happened, I am embarrassed, but also relieved.
Okay, I wanted to talk to the two of you before Malia came out here, and she's here, but she's not listening right now because it's time for the adults to talk. I think it's way past time for the adults to talk, frankly. Why did your daughter start running away?
Quite honestly, I'm not sure. Mark and I separated when she was 10. And we actually had a very amicable separation and divorce. I got into a new relationship very quickly, and she didn't like that person. And she would run for things, literally would run away because we wanted her to do chores.
How old was she the first time she ran away?
She was probably 13.
You said you got involved with someone else fairly quickly. Yes. Define fairly quickly.
About a month after Mark and I separated.
Okay, and got involved as in he moved in?
It was actually a woman.
Moved
and
in?
She did not move in, no.
And you say you've done everything you can to help her. Tell me, what would you put on top of the list of the things you've done to help her?
I think one of the best things that we tried to do very early on when she was approximately 14, and she was getting into much heavier drugs, meth we knew, and different amphetamines and drinking and marijuana, we did have her go to a lockdown rehab, and we did that twice with her. And every time that she came out, she might have stuck around for a couple, 3 weeks, and then she ended up starting to run again.
Okay.
She doesn't like rules, and she doesn't like authority. The last full year that she went to school was in the 6th grade, because in the 7th grade is when she started doing drugs.
You're saying she hasn't completed a grade since the 6th grade?
Yes,
That's
sir.
correct.
So she didn't go the 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, or 12th grade. You haven't been able to get a single school year out of her in 6 years.
Not a single school year. We have done everything from half days to alternative schools to military school.
And let me say, because, I mean, a lot of people might be thinking, how do you let a kid just drop out in the 6th grade? I want to be clear. You guys have looked for her under bridges. You've looked for her high and low. You've gone for days hunting for her through neighborhoods, at night, in town, out of town. It's not like you've just sat back and said, well, she didn't want to do it. Just what are we going to do? You've really...
Absolutely. And we have filed countless police reports. And every time the police, there are no runaway laws in Oregon. And so the police told us, we can get her, and we could bring her home, but we can't keep her there. We'll talk to her.
You can't detain her.
Yeah, we'll talk to her.
She's going to run again.
She's just going to run again.
Yeah. Then she met this 35-year-old man, and we're going to talk about that. On August 27th, Mark and Melissa claimed Malia called them saying that she was ready to come home after being on the run with 35-year-old boyfriend. But instead of rushing to pick her up, what did they do and why? We're going to find out more about that when we come back.
When Malia doesn't like something, she runs.
We have dropped everything to go get Malia, whether it's been in an abandoned car, whether it's been 2 states away.
I've been under bridges searching for my daughter. It is exhausting.
And later, he's in jail, right?
Yeah, attempted murder, assault, rape. That picture.
Okay, whoa. Now, come on.
Can you take that off there?
No, I'll take it down when I want to take it down. You're not running this.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil, they accuse his ex-wife.
Did she tell the boy she was not going to live?
She has. Of faking cancer.
You put our producer on the phone with a nurse.
Sharon.
There's no Sharon that works at that hospital.
And over-medicating the kids.
This says emergency only. You've upped the dose to every night.
I would never intentionally hurt my children.
I don't think you're being fully candid with me.
That's tomorrow.
Malia was with us in August. Malia had run away from this man, and she wanted us to come get her.
Malia was home for 5 days, and she ended up running away to him again. When you have been broken and disappointed so many times, you have to emotionally cut yourself off from it.
Okay, Mark and his ex-wife, Melissa, say their daughter was only 13 years old when she really started running away in a chronic fashion. And they insist that nothing could keep her home, keep her from running away, and ultimately with a 35-year-old man that she says she's in love with. Take a look.
When Malia doesn't like something, she runs.
Malia started running when she was 13.
It started out, we wouldn't hear from her for a couple days, and then the times got longer and longer and longer.
Every time that she was brought back, she immediately picked up and ran again.
The roller coaster of having a child that runs away because you've asked her to pick up her towel on the bathroom floor is exhausting.
We have dropped everything to go get Malia, whether it's been in an abandoned car, whether it's been 2 states away.
I've been under bridges searching for my daughter. In the beginning, it broke me. I was manic to find her, but as time goes on and it's a repeated behavior, I could no longer be so emotionally invested because I have 2 other children that I need to be a really good mom to.
I always say I believe we write on the slate of who these children are by the experiences we put in their lives.
Absolutely.
You had a problem with alcohol, right?
Yes, sir.
Bad problem.
Yes. My drinking definitely did impact the entire family.
But Mark was sober for 8 years between when Malia was 2 and 10. He was sober for 8 years. It wasn't until him and I split up that he then relapsed and had a really hard time.
That has to be a factor here. The fact that you guys split up has to be a factor. The fact that you had a relapse has to be a factor. The fact that she started getting into drugs and that impairs her judgment has to be a factor. I mean, you have to, when I start looking for solutions, I start looking for causes. Because if there's a cause and effect, I need to know what the cause is to understand the effect.
Absolutely. And Dr. Phil, as parents, we know that we've made some mistakes. I mean, absolutely. And we take responsibility for those mistakes. And throughout this whole thing, we have just never given up trying to continue to get her the help that she needs.
Here's one of the things I want you to think about. I always, when I see particularly young girls doing anything similar to what we're talking about here, the first thing I always ask myself is, are they running away from something or are they running to something? I think a lot of what we're dealing with here is, in her mind, she was looking for a way out. And it didn't, her standards were pretty low. Then when she's 15, you find out about this older man.
We did, through the police.
How did she meet him?
We have no idea how she met him. I believe that he offered her everything she needed, which was someone who was with her constantly. Malia wants constant attention. She needs someone to be with her all the time. I know that your staff has seen it as well. She needs someone with her at all times. She needs someone paying sole attention to her. And she doesn't get that in our family because there's other people and we have jobs and activities. Well, and he offered her that. He was with her 100% of the day, giving her whatever she wanted.
And we're going to talk about what happened on that night. What happened the day that Malia says she went out the window to get away from this man, but yet says she still loves him. She says this man was no predator, that he was her boyfriend. He was her rescuer. He was her savior. So why did she jump out that window to try and escape? I have a lot of questions for her, and we're going to meet her right after the break.
There were times that I was scared in our relationship. Jumped out a window and ran to my neighbor's house. He shot my neighbor in the leg.
And later...
I'm going to get up and I'm going to walk out of here. I don't need to be here.
Well, then leave. Hell, girl, if you don't want to be here, leave.
Mom?
You're just a loser, Paul.
You're the failure of a parent. You're the failure of a parent.
Why are you dating a 14-year-old child? That's a 4th-degree felony.
You have no job. You are living in the car.
I have 2 vehicles.
Does the other one have a windshield?
My stepdad is guilty of molesting me and my sisters.
You know what you did.
I didn't do what you said I did.
Oh, yes, you did.
Your daughter's 14. You say, I'm giving her dope because all kids smoke dope anyway.
You have messed her up.
You just want to turn it into I'm the bad guy.
You are providing your child with alcohol, allowing her to have sex. You are committing a crime.
Plus, a woman he's never met.
My fiancée, Kimberly, is a truly awesome woman.
She's currently stuck in Amsterdam.
And she needed money to get home.
An act of betrayal.
You didn't send Kim any money?
No, I didn't.
You scammed me out of $200,000, and if I could find you, I'd kill you.
A shocking revelation.
She's not in Amsterdam. She's here. Come on out.
2 years ago, when Malia was 15, she asked us to finally meet the man for dinner.
They both told us that everything was innocent, that he was just a safe place for her.
They both told us nothing was going on.
We just wanted to put a face to a name because the police weren't doing anything about it. Mark and I both left there knowing that it was not okay, but our hands were tied and we had no options.
Well, Mark and his ex-wife, Melissa, say that they are desperate to save their 17-year-old daughter, who they believe began having a relationship with a 35-year-old man when she was just 15. Now, just a few days ago, Malia and Charles Jackson were apprehended by authorities after being on the run for almost 3 months. Now, this is at the end of a relationship that allegedly started 2 years earlier when she was 15. Take a look at how Malia describes the moment they were surrounded by authorities.
I ran away in the beginning because I was a defiant 13-year-old girl. I stayed with friends. I have slept outside multiple times. I slept one time at a parking garage. I always found a way to take care of myself on my own. I haven't had a relationship with my parents, and that was a long time ago. My boyfriend, he's been my life for the past 2 years. He makes me happy. A normal day would probably be drinking and using drugs. My parents obviously don't like him because of his age. There were times that I was scared in our relationship. There was an incident in June that we both probably made some stupid decisions. At the time, I felt like my life was in danger. It escalated to the point where I jumped out a window and ran to my neighbor's house. My boyfriend was close behind me. I heard 3 gunshots. He shot my neighbor in the leg. He got arrested. 10 or 15, cops with guns and 2 dogs, coming at us. He didn't even put the car in park, but we got out with our hands up, and then he's like, "I love you, Malia," and I'm like, "I love you," and we said that probably 5 times to each other. My boyfriend was charged with assault, and I think it's... If my boyfriend was out of jail, I would be with him.
So how you doing?
I'm fine.
You've had quite an interesting last 30 days, right?
Yeah.
The authorities found you guys in Oregon, is that right?
Yeah.
What were you doing when they got there?
We took a nap and then we heard the planes flying above us. And then we're like, okay, we need to get the out of here. And so we drove not even 100 yards down the road, and then there was a bunch of cops.
So you heard a plane going over too many times?
Yeah, we're like, okay.
So at this point, he's in jail, right?
Yeah.
What's he in jail for, to your understanding?
He's in jail for a long list of things.
Yeah.
Attempted murder, assault, rape, everything.
Why is he in jail for what's your understanding about why he's in jail for attempted murder?
Because he shot my neighbor in the leg.
He shot your neighbor in the leg?
Yeah. Because I ran to my neighbor's house, and then my neighbor was a dumbass and went outside and tried to talk to him, and I ran out the back door, but tried to talk to him, and then Charlie's lay on the ground and let me go in the house and get her, and he wouldn't lay on the ground. I guess he smiled at him, and then he turned around and started walking away, and so Charlie shot him in the leg. He shot at the ground twice, but then he shot him in the leg.
Okay.
He wasn't trying to kill him, so I don't think it should be attempted murder.
Mm-hmm. Now you went out the window.
That picture.
Okay, whoa. Now come on.
Please.
Can
you take that off there?
No, I'll take it down when I want to take it down. You're not running this. Why did you go out a window of a house?
I'm not answering anything until that picture's taken down.
Well, we'll take it down in a minute. Were you trying to get away from him?
Yeah, obviously.
Why?
I felt my life was in danger, but he made some choices that day that probably weren't right, and I made some choices that day that probably weren't right, so.
What choices did you make that probably weren't right?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. That's a hard question, I guess.
What did he do that wasn't right?
He let his temper and his anger take control over him, I guess.
Did he attack you?
I'm not going to answer that.
Are you thinking that you're protecting him if you don't answer those things?
He hasn't gone to trial yet, and so I don't want to say anything.
Well, you know, I've spent most of my professional career in the litigation arena, and I'm trained as a forensic psychologist, which is psychology in the law. And I can tell you that if you present as so mind-controlled by him that you're afraid to speak the truth, you're actually hurting his case, not helping him, but you do what you want. If they watch you and you're so afraid of him that you won't tell the truth.
That's not who said that.
Well,
You're saying that.
I'm saying that.
That's not what
I'm saying
is
that.
the
If
case. I'm not afraid of him, but I am.
You went out the window because you're not afraid of him?
Okay, that day I was, but I'm not saying anything because I'm afraid of him. I just don't want any legal issues with me saying anything that could hurt or help the case. I'm sorry, Dr. Phil.
What she's doing right now speaks volumes more than if she was talking. You consider yourself to still be a couple, right?
Yes, I'm always here for Charlie.
He could spend 20 years in the penitentiary.
I will be there for him when he gets out.
You did go out a window, that we know, and you don't want to talk about why you went out the window.
Well, I went out the window because we made some choices that I felt like my life was in danger, and that's...
Did you feel like your eyes were in danger of being gouged out?
No.
But you felt like you went out the window, you were safer outside the room than inside the room.
Yeah.
Okay. And so you ran to the neighbor to get help.
Yeah, to call the police, and I did.
Yeah. And so this neighbor that he shot in the leg was 84 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's 35 with a gun, and he shoots an 84-year-old man in the leg.
Yeah.
Charming.
Yeah, that sounds great, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That was a really dumb decision on his part, I think. That was very...
Yeah.
That was dumb.
And so
he should have never, because if he didn't shoot, then I think that things would be a lot different now. If he would have just took some other course of action, I guess, than not shooting him. But you had still jumped out a window, ran from him, and called 911 before he shot. Yeah. So you had already started the process and were scared of him. No, but the only reason why I ever wrote a statement down or said a statement to the police is because they're he's gonna be in trouble anyways, and so I'm just
let's talk about you. Let's take him out of it for a minute.
Okay.
You went out the back door and went to another neighbor's house, and they told you to get out of here, right?
Yeah, he came at me with a gun, actually.
So he chased you away, so you go to another neighbor, and they actually did call the police.
I called the police.
From the neighbor's house?
Yeah.
Okay.
And my mom.
Did you know that he had a gun?
Well, yeah, he has guns. He's Native American. They have rights. They hunt. They...
Sure.
Yeah, he always has his guns.
Sure. Okay, so then at that point, you felt like you were safer outside the room than you were inside the room. And this wasn't the first time you felt safer away from him than with him. Although there were times that you felt safer with him than without him, right?
Yeah.
There were times you felt safe with him.
Yeah.
But then there were times that things went bad and you felt like you were better off to not be with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Okay. And so you consider yourself to still be a couple, right?
I don't know how that... I haven't really thought about... I mean, I have, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm always here for Charlie.
You know, he could spend 20 years in the penitentiary or longer.
Yeah. That's a long time.
You're gonna wait?
I will be there for him when he gets out.
So you think you would wait for him till you're 40?
I'm not gonna wait. I never said I was. I will be there for him as a friend if he's healthy, and I will if he's
as my friend. If he's healthy, I will. If he's sober.
You told me 2 days ago that you and Charlie have already
said our goodbyes. We have.
You had talked about how when he gets out, you two are going to be together and you're going to try to get us to be involved with him.
That was
and
kind of just like me dreaming.
That was you dreaming.
Yeah, I was just kind of.
Okay. You said that to me.
But that could be like, she could be in her 40s by then, right?
And that scares you.
He said 70 years or something like that. The paper said 90 months to 70 years.
70 years?
90 months to 70 years, but they said the paper always over-exaggerates things.
Yeah. Well, coming up, Melissa and Mark say they have 3 months to get their 17-year-old daughter back on track before she's 18, and they have absolutely no control over her. They say she's been running away since the age of 13, dropped out of school in the 6th grade, and keeps running back to a 35-year-old man that she considers to be her boyfriend. We'll talk more about that when we come back.
It's just who I am, and if you don't want me to be myself right now, then I don't need to be here.
Well, then leave. Hell, girl, if you don't want to be here, leave.
When she was away from us, she was doing meth, drinking, smoking a lot of pot.
Because we haven't seen her for so long, I don't know the extent of the addictions. Mark and I put Malia in lockup rehab 2 different times and spent $40,000.
The college savings is gone.
It did not work putting her in rehab because she needed to want help and she refused.
Let's assume these are allegations against Charles, and he might get off completely, but I think you feel realistically he's in pretty serious trouble, right?
That's why I don't know. Like, I don't know what. Nobody knows really, because it's so early, like in the case and everything. Like, nobody knows what's gonna happen.
Well, he allegedly shot a guy in the leg, and they frown on that. And in most communities, you shoot an 84-year-old man in the leg when he's trying to help a lady in distress. Let's assume, just for argument's sake, that he spends 25 years in prison. What's next for you?
I need to work on a normal life and get my life started, just working on me and not worrying about that.
Yeah. And what would that look like, working on a normal life?
Living with my mom and going to counseling and getting my GED, getting my license, getting my permit, getting all that, getting a job.
You tend to, I've learned that the best predictor of future behavior is relevant past behavior, and you've not adjusted well in the home, you tend to run away. The difference is now you don't need to run, you can walk because nobody's chasing you. There's nothing to rebel against because nobody's...
Yeah, it's time to work on myself and to be good for myself.
Why do you think, is her living at home an option?
No.
Not right now.
Not living with you after doing all this? Like, that's why I'm doing this, is just so I can live with you.
So...
Like, I'm going to get up and I'm going to walk out of here if I don't, like, living with you is why I'm here. Like, that's the only thing I want from this, is to live with you.
It's a long-term goal, I think.
No, that's I'm going to go home and I want to live with you.
And honey, I want you to live with me. But we have continued to tell you that you need to go
I can get in counseling.
You need counseling, you need to be in school, and we need to look at medication.
Yeah.
Those are the 3 things that we've continually asked of you.
I'm not getting on medication because of my...
And you've refused to do that for 3 years.
No, I will go to counseling. I will.
Okay, let's not use bombs, please.
Okay, that's just who I am, and if you don't want me to be myself right now, then I don't need to be here.
Well, then leave. Hell, girl, if you don't want to be here, leave.
Mom, is that what you want? I get to live with you when I'm done here, then I will stay here.
Do you think you're doing me a favor by being here?
No, I don't think I'm doing you a favor.
Really? Then you're not. If you want to go,
I know.
go.
I'm trying to be with my family, and
well, they're here
this is the
talking
only
to me.
option. Yeah, I know. They feel like they don't know what else to do.
Every time you have come into the home, you bring chaos. You suck the life out of me.
I don't suck the life out of you.
You're being at home. There are 2 other children in the home, right?
Yeah.
And they deserve a peaceful existence as well.
Yeah, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
Malia, every time you have come into the home, you bring chaos into our home. And when you were there for the last 3, before you went back with that man this last time in August, you being there caused your sisters a lot of distress. And she wasn't violent or having outbursts, but
yeah, because
you suck the life out of me, and
okay,
I can't give anything to them.
I don't suck the life out of you. I just take your attention that needs to be given to me that I haven't had in years. And the girls aren't used to having another person in their life that takes a little bit of your attention away. And I feel like I deserve a little bit of your attention.
Of course you do.
You absolutely do.
Of course you do.
But when you come in, you suck all of me.
Well, obviously, for a minute, I'm gonna need a little bit of your more attention than the girls. Because it's new.
But that's been happening for years.
Well, I've never stayed long enough for anything to get better.
Right, you have not, because you run.
And the girls, looking at it from their eyes, they get close to you. They are so happy you're back in the house. And then the chaos starts, and they get hurt, and then you leave, and they're hurt because you leave.
Yeah.
And you come back, and they think everything's going to be okay, and they have their big sissy.
Well, that's what I think, too.
And then you leave.
That's what I think, too. I don't plan on, like, coming back and leaving and coming back and leaving. And now that he's gone for however long it's going to be, I know it was before him that I would come back and leave and come back and leave, but, like, it's a lot different.
It's been with him as well. He would.
Yeah, I know that. That's what I'm saying.
At the rest area.
I know that's what I'm saying. So now that he's not here to do that, it's probably going to be a little bit.
Okay, could I ask you a question?
What?
Just your opinion.
Yes.
What do you think is your biggest obstacle or your biggest barrier to kind of getting back into the mainstream of life?
I don't see any obstacles. I feel like they're trying to put up obstacles. Like, I can do this. I can go to counseling. I can get my GED. I can get my license and my permit, and I can do all that. Time is obviously a big thing, and, like, it's never been just like, okay, Malia, like, come home, and we'll love you, and if you do the normal kid things, like, I'll clean, I'll do chores, I will do whatever, I will not leave past a certain time if that's what they really want. But it's never just been that. It's been like, oh no, you can't come home yet, you have to, like, stay away.
Because, by the way, I don't think this is all your fault, by the way. I think this is a family issue, not a Malia issue.
Yeah.
I think you get the finger pointed at you a lot, but I don't think it's all you. I think you're reacting to a lot of stuff that's been thrown at you. Is Malia really committed to getting back on track? I mean, I kind of think she is, but we're going to talk about that after the break. Well, let me tell you what I'm going to suggest and make an offer to you about. And Malia will want to participate in this, or she won't. You know, that's up to y'all, and you can do this a lot of different ways. Malia, I want to introduce you to Marcella Rondini. She's the clinical director and licensed marriage and family therapist for Polaris Teen. And Polaris Teen is an individualized residential mental health treatment center for teens. And Marcella, you guys work with teens and their families that are really having a difficult time getting through life and getting to the next level. And this is one of those situations. And I chose this particular program because you work for two reasons. One, you work in such an individualized, customized way without an emphasis on medications, and you work with families, not just the teen. Is this a situation that you think you can help this family?
Yes. Hi. Hi, Malia. Hi, parents. Hi, Dr. Phil. So I have been hearing your guys' story, and I want to say, first of all, thank you for being here and for sitting there and not walking out. I know it takes a lot. It's kind of scary to be here in front of a lot of people. Just hearing your story, we can help you because we really are specialized in trauma. So we can really empower and process what's going on inside for you. And number two, it's a family program, and it is a family program. You are not going to be seen as the patient. It's like all the family needs help. And as you guys are saying, you want to go home and you want this to work, right? You don't want to go home and in a few days, things get very overwhelming and then you have to leave, right? You want this to be, okay, I want to go home, I want to do that. So we need to help your family to be ready.
How does this sound to you?
No.
I'm sorry?
No.
Okay. Well, then that's a decision that you parents will need to make, and I'll let you guys sit down backstage and talk about this. My interest is not where you are in 2 weeks, it's where you are in 2 years and 5 years and 10 years. And we'll find out how sincere you are, whether you're willing to put in the work and whether you guys are willing to put in the work.
But I will not
or
do any inpatient.
Whether you're not.
No, I am not going to be sent away again. I'm not going to do it.
I want to thank all of my guests today. A special thanks to Marcella from Polaris Teen. We'll see what this family decides to do. For more information on today's show, you can log on to drphil.com. You can also join on the conversation today on Facebook and Twitter. Once again, I want to say that with regard to this individual, Charles, these are allegations. He's pled not guilty. He's not been convicted of anything at this point, so I treat these as allegations, and we'll see how all that turns out. I hope you're serious about making a change in your life, and we'll see. You either are or you aren't. We'll see you next time.
Oh, I know she is. She hoards animals, too. Laura has about 53 animals living in our house.
Did you call animal control?
No, I didn't.
Well, I'm going to.
Her dad is fed up.
I've moved into the garage.
Most of the time, you're not sober.
He's sober right now. Let him talk.
You need to mind your own business.
This is my business.
And the house is disgusting.
It is no way to raise a child in that squalor.
I will be there for that baby.
Well, if you're going to be there for that baby, then get a front-end loader and clean that house out. Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
Today's going to be a changing day in your life.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. received an urgent email just last week from 23-year-old Jessie saying she was at her breaking point and desperate for help because she has been living with an evil psychopath since she was 5 years old. Now, Jessie is talking about her stepmother, Laura, who she claims recently attacked her in front of her 14-month-old baby. Now, Jessie claims she is forced to live in a dirty, disgusting house because she says her stepmother is a hoarder who even hoards animals. She has 53. 5 dogs, 3 cats, 2 snakes, 1 sheep, 2 rabbits, and at least 40 mice. But Laura says Jessie is just a spoiled brat who makes up everything about her, and she is the reason why she is now just the insignificant other to Jessie's father. Now, Jessie says she is here at the show for one reason and one reason only: for me to help her get that woman out of the house and out for good. This is what she has to say. Take a look.
My dad's girlfriend, Laura, is an evil, psycho, hoarding bitch. There's so much stuff that you can barely get through this. The house is absolutely disgusting. I'm sick of living this way, and it's all because of Laura. My dad is so fed up that he has moved into the garage. The only clean parts in the house are my room and my bathroom. As you can see, kept clean. My dad is very non-confrontational. It's easy for my dad to tell me to ignore her, but I'm the one who's stuck in the house with her all day. Laura hasn't worked a single day in the 16 years that I've known her, and my dad pays for everything. She's been manipulating my dad since day one. She has completely brainwashed my little sister. She can't manipulate me, and I think that bothers her. In the beginning, she was all excited about being a grandma, but after that, she just went back to being a bitch. I'm in a program that helps out first-time moms. The nurse assigned to me was coming to my house. I completely spaced out and I forgot about the appointment. That's when Laura decided to try and get my baby taken away from me. Laura told the nurse I let my child cry for hours, that she constantly is falling off the bed and had bruises all over her face. CPS did an investigation, and after 30 days, they closed the case. I love my dad, but I'm very disappointed in how long he's let her destroy our lives. Like, Dad, you're living in the garage. When are you gonna realize that she's not gonna leave on her own? You need to kick her out.
This is your house?
Yes. Mine and my dad's.
Okay, so you're living with your dad?
Yes.
So it's his house?
Yes.
So you're wanting to kick her out of your dad's house?
Yes.
Because she's turned it into a pit?
Yes.
And she doesn't work?
Not a single day since I've known her.
Does she clean? Or, I mean, because you go to work, right?
Well, I was going to work until I had my baby, and then I had to stay home with her, so.
You don't work?
No, not at the moment.
Okay. And how old's your child?
She's 14 months.
And you have a sister?
Yes.
And she's 16?
Yes.
Does she work?
No.
And Laura doesn't work?
No.
And you don't work?
No.
But your dad works?
Yes.
And he lives in the garage?
Yes.
And it's his house?
Yes.
So the only guy that's working is living on a cot in the garage?
Yeah.
So you think she's a hoarder?
Oh, I know she is. She definitely is.
And the house is disgusting?
Yes.
So what are we looking at here?
This is all of her hoard and
We're like,
crap.
where is this?
Yeah, that's outside where the dogs are at. She hoards animals, too.
Laura says Jessie is just a disrespectful, entitled daddy's girl who is used to getting her way. Let's hear what Laura has to say.
My stepdaughter Jessie is unpredictable, snotty, and entitled.
My issue with Jessie started 10 years ago. John walked into Jessie's bedroom and told her she didn't have to listen to me anymore because I wasn't going to be there very long. As a young child, John gave her everything she wanted. All Jessie has to do is say something, and John will do it. If John stopped enabling Jessie, she would grow up and stop being lazy. When Jessie was 16, she started staying out all night. At 19, Jessie's temper tantrums turned into drunken rages. John will avoid a confrontation with Jessie and attack me, saying, why do you care? Why do you want to get involved? Why do you have to stick your nose in it? My main issue with Jessie now, she does not care for the baby when the baby needs caring for. Jessie will spend time on her phone when the baby's crying, and I go in to offer help, and she's like, she's fine. She's just throwing a temper tantrum. I don't believe she's interested in anybody's advice, but most importantly, not mine. I don't believe Jessie is able to parent a 14-month-old child.
Well, Laura and Jessie's biggest fight was over the baby, ultimately ending in Jessie taking out a personal conduct order against Laura.
Just last week, my little sister Angelina offered to feed my baby breakfast.
We put her in the high chair. She was grunting and whining.
After 10 minutes, I hear my daughter screaming. So I sent my boyfriend in. My boyfriend saw Laura holding down my baby's arms and Angelina force feeding her. And he asked Angelina, why is she crying? And she said, because she doesn't want to eat, so we're making her.
And I said, no, she's fine. You guys taught her how to scream like this, and we know what she wants.
So I go out there, took her tray off, and started unbuckling her.
And Jessie comes storming out, takes the high chair tray off, throws it.
Laura started pushing me and saying, no, don't touch her. And I was like, what? Like, that's my baby.
She starts swinging at my head. She was holding on to the baby, so when I grabbed her arm, she threw the high chair over, and the baby fell.
And that's where I lost it. And I just started pushing her back, and I was just swinging because I was angry. You just tried to hurt my baby.
And she hit me in the temple about 6 times. She ripped my shirt. I pulled her hair.
I only hit her face once.
I grabbed her arms, crossed them over her, and pinned them to her chest.
She had my hand so tight against my throat that I was almost choking.
And then she started screaming bloody murder.
When the police showed up, they said, I can't get a restraining order because she lives in the same home as me. I had to get a personal conduct order. The order states that Laura cannot harass, intimidate, attack, strike, threaten, hit, or assault me or my baby.
The sheriff came and determined the situation was the case of a mother not taking care of her baby.
Okay, thank you for being here. So you two got in a fight about the baby, literally over the baby, with the baby right there.
Correct.
What the hell are you thinking?
It didn't happen exactly like that.
I did not touch her. I did not say a word to her. I went to get my child. And I have the right to do that. When I went out there to get her, she started attacking me. And then she pushed the high chair over.
She took the tray off, she threw the tray, and she's going like this trying to get the seatbelt off the baby. And I turned around from pouring the drink. I said, she's fine.
So you admit you had the limeade in your hand when I walked out there, not when he walked out there, because you were holding her hands down when he walked out there.
I leaned over to tell her that, and she went like this, holding the seatbelt. She swung at my head, hit me about 6 times, and the high chair fell over. Not once did she check on what happened to the baby.
Well, that's 3 minutes of my life I can't get back. Seriously, do I look like I care who held the limeade? What I am concerned about is that you two grown-ups are having a physical fight in the presence of a 14-month-old baby. Shame on the two of you. Coming up, John, the owner of the house, well, he lives in the garage, but he pays for the house, says he does not have a romantic relationship with Laura and will never have a relationship with her again. So why is she still living in his house? And Why is he not living in his house? I feel like I know what's wrong with these two. I don't know what the hell's wrong with him. But we're going to find out after the break.
Years ago, Laura pushed me out of the house. One day, I come home, and all my clothes and belongings were in trash bags.
In reality, I collected her things in a room that wasn't being used when she had two sisters that needed to use that room.
I just took my things and I left. I figured that my dad had known what was going on, but I later found out that he had no idea, and Laura just took it upon herself. After about 3 months, I asked if I could move back home. My dad was completely cool with that. I did not ask Laura's permission because it's not her house and she has no say. How could she kick me out of my own house?
Well, Jessie told us she has had enough of Laura, whom she likes to call the evil stepmother. You did not invent that phrase. She said the last straw came last week after Laura and Jessie got into a physical fight. But Laura says the problem is Jessie, because she's spoiled, entitled, and think the world revolves around her. Now, caught in the middle for over 16 years is John. So what's he got to say about all this?
Laura's always had a certain amount of disdain for my children. Laura does not get along with Jessie most of all. She believes that she does everything wrong. Jessie is a real spitfire, so it's like oil and water. My ex is a psychotic, manipulative person. I resent that my kids or myself can't even feel comfortable in the house. I hate that my daughter and my granddaughter are banished to their room because of Laura's issues. I think she keeps the house that way for two reasons. One, she's a hoarder, and two, it serves the purpose of keeping everybody else out so she can commandeer the space. I think Laura puts everybody down to feel better about herself. She just likes to stir the pot. Although we've lived together for 16 plus years, I haven't had a relationship with her, much less sex, in at least 9. I've pretty much moved into the garage.
And this is where my dad is forced to sleep because of Laura.
After 16 years, I'm absolutely exhausted. I can't do this anymore. I want my house back and I want my kids back. I want her out. I want to reclaim my house. I wish she would get some help somewhere else. You know, she needs it.
Well, you've been listening to everything so far, so you've got to know what my first question is. What the hell are you thinking? What are you doing living in the garage?
I'll be perfectly honest. The bottom line is I've dropped the ball. I made a conscious decision to, you know, not argue about things and try to make it a decent place to live. Well, now it's just snowballed into this. And
a decent place to live. Have you seen the pictures? This is where you live, right?
Yes.
You live on this couch in the garage.
Yes.
And the rest of the house, well, there's not a lot of room left in the house, is there?
No. Each one of the three bedrooms I remodeled, she just cannot stop accumulating stuff.
Do you have a problem with hoarding?
No, I have a problem with getting rid of, not collecting to have. So I don't take the time to go through it.
Do you have a problem with semantics?
Sometimes, yeah.
That one of the reasons that you kept the house as a mess is to keep my friends out.
The
my drunken
only the
friends.
drunk people. I don't care if the sober people come in and are nice and they're not embarrassing to your daughter.
I have lots of friends
Do you ever
that
notice,
are great people, but you would have
talk for once.
You would have no idea.
I have a child to raise.
You put two different things together.
To keep them out of the house keeps her in a safe place.
Hold on. You have a child to raise?
My 16-year-old.
In that squalor?
I do.
It is a fire hazard. Yep. It is a health hazard. It's a safety hazard at every level. It is no way to raise a child. You say you have a child to raise. I mean, let's look at your child's attendance record. This is a total of classes missed in the 16-17 school year so far. Absent 386 classes, tardy 40 times. In the 17-18 school year, that's the current year, 67 classes, And in Tardy 2 times. She doesn't go. When she does, she's late. But how do you? Yeah. What do you?
Most of those are medical reasons.
Oh, come on. Unless she's in a coma somewhere.
Well, she's not.
Because she hurt her wrist.
She has multiple concussions. She's getting better. We're getting better. We've been doing it by ourselves. He's drunk most of the time.
He's been doing the program with you guys.
So I can't even discuss anything with her, with him, if it regards her.
Because I call you out on your crap.
It's 10 years.
Dr. Phil,
and that's why she won't.
Yes, I drink. I drink maybe a couple times a week.
Well, I don't know if you're drunk or what, but if you are, you better sober up and man up, because you got a hell of a mess on your hands, buddy. All right. Coming up, Laura loves animals, but Jessie says things have gotten so out of control with Laura's 53 animals that she's embarrassed to bring her friends around. We'll be right back. Well, John's daughter Jessie emailed me asking for help getting her stepmother, Laura, out of her father's house. She says Laura has turned their home into a garbage pail. Take a look.
When Laura moved in with me, she slowly started bringing big plastic bins. Then it kept coming, and turned into an absolute hoarding mess.
I do not consider myself a hoarder. I just want to protect my stuff. I don't feel there's boundaries that are respected.
I also believe she's hoarding animals.
Laura has about 53 animals living in our house. 5 dogs.
4 cats, 2 bunnies.
Here are the rabbits inside the house. 2 snakes, 3 tubs of mice. This one has baby mice in it. She also has a sheep and a fish.
That's less animals than we've ever had before. I don't understand why Jessie and John think that all these pets are a problem.
We have 2 full-grown huskies outside, less than 10-foot cord. It's hot, and they always look sad. It's just disgusting.
2 weeks ago, I believe that John made a call to animal control. An investigator came out, and she said everything was fine.
She has 2 miniature pinchers and a French bulldog that just completely run the house. Laura hoards the weirdest things like newspapers, bags of clothes. She probably has baby clothes still from her 28-year-old daughter. It's not healthy for the animals. It's not healthy for my dad. It's not healthy for me, my sister, and it's especially not healthy for my child.
Did you call animal control?
No, I didn't.
Well, I'm going to.
I did.
They don't live like that. They aren't in a kennel all the time.
Anthony Haskins, where are you? Before noon today, I want animal control cold call, and I want these animals reported, those dogs that are tied up on those leashes. I want that reported today. And if they don't remove those dogs today, I want to know it, and I want you to call until they do. Those dogs are being abused. You can't take those dogs and tie them up on those leashes.
We don't leave them on leash. We run them every couple. She said they can be tied out. They have lots of yard. He just didn't fix the fence.
Those dogs are going to get rescued. You ought to be ashamed of yourself tying those dogs up like that.
He said he's going to fix the fence for 3 years. We do not leave them. Angelina and I take care of them every day. You should be ashamed of yourself tying those dogs up like that.
You brought them.
It's easy if I was able to manipulate the situation to make it look like, what I wanted it to be, then sure, then those would all look good and everything. But if I showed you the picture of her room, you wouldn't think it looked like it did in the picture. John has allowed everything to happen. We got along fine until he started thinking I was picking on Jessie. Jessie has always been, poor me, poor me. We have 6 kids, and Jessie's the second to last. Angelina is the last. And she has always thought that John and I favor her over everybody else, and that's not true.
Dr. Phil, that couldn't be farther from the truth.
Well, you can say that because most of the time you're not sober. Everything that has ever happened with Jessie,
right now. Let him
don't you talk. It's my time. I didn't
Always
interrupt
your
you.
time, right?
You know what? Your time is coming.
It's right now,
Yeah,
right here. This is why I brought you here, because you have issues and you need to
And you know why
realize
you don't like me? Because I am the only... You know what? I am the only one.
You've made my life
You know
living
what?
hell for
Stop.
16 years. That's
I am the,
I
you
need to
stop
speak-
too.
I need to
get
speak
to
for a
finish
minute.
my sentence.
Finish
you
your sentence.
don't like me because I am the only one that stands up to you. I am the only one that tells you when you're rude or disrespectful.
You just
but
took the
I
word
am
from my
also
video.
the only one that has said that I will be there with you no matter what for that baby. Through that pregnancy, with that baby, no matter whether or not I was with Dad. And you are the
Well, if
one...
you're going to be there for that baby, then get a front-end loader and clean that house out.
I tried. Dr. Phil, when
There was a time that I was kind of seeing someone. I would pick her up, we'd go play some pool. And then I found out that Laura was tracking me on my cell phone. Laura believes that we're still in a relationship, even though I sleep in the garage. Like most things, if she believes it in her head, then that is fact. I could never be in a relationship with Laura again. There's been too many unforgivable things that have happened. This is a lot of things all into one, but this has nothing to do with me sticking up for Jessie over her or anything like that. This is a matter of, I believe she has a psychosis that I have not been able to deal with.
Because you're an alcoholic.
I have not been equipped to deal with. I already explained myself how I drink, and I have no problem with
Okay,
drinking.
and can I explain how you drink?
Just because you don't drink
I'll
doesn't
tell you
mean,
what.
doesn't mean
Let's
that
stop
somebody
for a
that does
second.
is an
Let's
alcoholic.
stop for a second. Let's stop for a second because I'll stop for a second. I'm going to ask you this. Let's assume, for argument's sake, that he is a falling down, sloppy, blithering drunk. Let's assume that for argument's sake. I'm not saying that's true, but just for argument's sake. What the hell has that got to do with you doing what you're doing?
If I'm addressing...
That's your go-to. Answer my question.
If I'm addressing the things that I need to, as if the laundry and the things that are in the living room there that you see, or taking care of the animals, he always wants me to do something else. And I said, look, I'm taking care of this.
You're not answering my question. You're either going to answer that question or you're going to quit saying it, one of the two.
One more time. I'm sorry.
What does him being a falling down drunk have to do with you overtaking that house with trash and junk and making it so uninhabitable that it is a fire hazard, health hazard, and him having to actually move into the garage? What does him being a drunk have to do with your pathology?
He didn't move into the garage because of the stuff.
Answer my question.
I don't know. Guess nothing. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
Just answer the question.
What I'm trying to say. He's controlling. I can't do what I need to do to get things done.
That could be more opposite.
No, listen.
Listen, if I need your help, I know right where you are.
See, and that's exactly it. Okay, for instance.
Answer my question.
For instance.
Are you going to answer my question? Because if you're not, just stop talking.
I'm sorry.
Are you going to answer my question?
Yes.
What does his pathology have to do with yours?
It gets in the way. I'd rather deal with my own pathology. I don't need to deal with his also. I know how to
Then quit hiding behind his. Tell me what it's got to do with all of this. What does it have to do with you? You have a 16-year-old daughter you've got living in this mess.
I think it's more of a mess because we're not there. That stuff outside that's been there in the weather and stuff, that stuff has been there because it kept him out of my desk. There's a desk under there. That's my desk. They go through that. They go through my stuff. I can't leave the house for 10. Jesse went through all the cupboards and all the drawers, and I'm the one who's a bitch. I don't get it.
I was throwing out old baby food. I didn't know that was yours.
I don't get. I understand I have a lot to do, but I need to be left to do it. I can't stop to do what he needs me to do because I don't want to hear him yell. And he doesn't do it sober. He does it drunk. He does it when she whispers in his ear.
Okay, so you're doing this because he's drunk.
Doing that. I think I'm avoiding it because he's drunk, so it's getting worse as time goes on. Like I said, I don't collect stuff to say, okay, I want to fill this room with this. It's just that I don't go through it. he starts his episodes or whatever, and then Angelina's like, let's go. We don't need to be around this. Let's just go. We'll come back.
Coming up, John and Laura's 16-year-old daughter demanded to be here today because she has something to say. I'm going to give her an opportunity to do that when we come back.
After Angelina was born is when a lot of the drama really started. It was like Angelina and Laura against the world. Angelina is like God to Laura, and she favors her big time. I do not have a very good relationship with Angelina because she is a miniature version of her mother. Angelina is Laura's little puppet. She will say and do whatever Laura tells her to say and do. She is a manipulative little liar, just like her mom.
Jessie says that she and her 16-year-old sister Angelina have never had a good relationship. She and her father John believe that Angelina has been manipulated by her mother Laura. Now, Angelina wanted to be here today because she says no one ever listens to her, and she says she has something to say. So here's what she told us.
My sister Jessie is dramatic and manipulative. When just the littlest thing happens, she just blows it all out of proportion, and she thinks that everything is owed to her, and if she doesn't get it, she figures out a way to manipulate someone into getting it for her. When Jessie is around, we all tense up. Jessie gets overwhelmed with the baby crying, so she just lets her cry until she's so exhausted she can't physically cry anymore. Living with my parents, it is obvious they just don't get along. In elementary school, I can remember several occasions where my dad has threatened to kill my mom. To this day, the main reason I don't talk back to my dad is because I believe that he will hurt me and he will hurt my mom, especially if he's intoxicated. My dad acts inappropriately around my friends. I have friends who don't want to come over to my house because they're weirded out by my dad. He comes off as a pervert. At this point, I'm ready to walk away and never look back. I would never talk to my dad unless he was on his deathbed.
You're uncomfortable living in this house with your dad there. You'd rather be somewhere else?
Yes.
And you'd rather be with your mother than with your dad?
Yes.
Do you have a relationship with your father that has any positives to it?
Yeah.
Would you like to work on a relationship with him where the two of you could have a healthy relationship going forward?
Don't look at her. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. But what you want is for your mom to move and for you to go with your mother, right?
Yeah.
That's what you would feel best with. But then if you had an opportunity to build on a relationship with your dad that was healthy in some way, then you would like to do that, right?
Thank you.
If there's a way that you guys could work something out where...
I would give it one more shot. That's it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
Would you support that?
As long as she wanted it, I would support it.
Do you think it's important for a daughter to have a good relationship with her father?
Yes, that's why I've been here all this time. And, you know, the house is a job. You need to mind your own business right now.
This is my business.
And do you think it's important that you not speak ill of him to your daughter?
Very important. I can't say that I don't do it sometimes, but
all the time.
And sometimes I'm angry and I'll say it.
And you recognize that this is off limits. You're not going to run this girl's mother down to her. You gain nothing there.
Mm-hmm.
Then you can work on a relationship with your daughter.
Yeah, honestly, that's the first I'd heard of those statements that she made. If you'd see us every day, you know, she's heading off to school. She's like, Dad, I need lunch money, okay. And, you know, we say, love you, and kiss each other goodbye. And then I'm kind of a little miffed at where this is coming from, but
well, you shouldn't be miffed.
You
shouldn't be miffed. You should really be honored that she is caring enough to tell you the truth about what really matters to her.
Yeah.
This is the most adult perspective I have heard since this conversation started. All right, coming up, Laura says John is just the money man. Well, she'll explain next.
I feel like I'm constantly being worked by Laura through Angelina when it comes to money. Every day she comes to me and says, Mom, I need some gas money and I need this thing at school.
My dad has an idea that he's being worked, but he has no idea the extent of how much he's being worked.
Laura knows that I have a better chance of giving money to Angelina because I can't trust Laura.
If I need to go to the store and get milk, he'll call Angelina over and he'll say, you pay, bring me change, and don't let Mom have the money.
I'm sorry you've been put in this crossfire. You don't deserve this. Shouldn't happen. And if they don't have the maturity to tell you they're sorry, then let me tell you as an adult, I'm sorry. You shouldn't have to live with this. They mean well, but they're behaving poorly. And your dad loves you very much. Your mother loves you very much. They're just letting their own agenda get in the way. And you're paying the price for it. And that needs to stop. And if they listen to me, it's going to stop. You two are living a sham of a relationship. You're just in denial. You need to move.
I do.
And you don't live this way for 16 years and just go home and change the locks.
It hasn't been, he hasn't been in the garage 16 years. We have, listen, I'm sorry,
I'm
Dr.
going to
Phil.
talk, and it doesn't matter. You could filibuster, but when you're done, I'm going to finish, so you might as well just let me finish. Because, I mean, when you're done, I'm going to...
properly. When John and I and Angelina are together, you would never know we had any problems. It's when he drinks and he thinks everything's my responsibility. Jesse's never had a chore to do in her life, and I'm always.
You used to give me a list of chores and tape it on the inside of my bedroom door.
Those are your chores in your room.
When I was little. No, not in my room.
I never
in the kitchen, in the bathroom.
So
your crap.
My point is when John had Jesse come back, he gave her the master bedroom, and I said, you know, I was.
She had a baby.
And the house was clean.
No, it wasn't.
Oh.
It was disgusting. You couldn't even stay in your own room.
Okay, so you don't want to know what I think.
I'm sorry, I do.
No.
I just want you to know that it's.
You just want to program me first.
No, this 16 years has not been all of this. It hasn't been all of 16 years.
Is there something that you haven't told me that you feel like it's essential that I know? Just don't repeat yourself. Is there something that you haven't said that you feel like...
I don't think John thinks for himself. I think he spends most of his time drunk, and then he listens to her whine.
Oh, my God.
And
Stop. I said don't repeat.
No, I'm saying...
Will you stop talking?
Sorry.
I'm saying
just don't tell me something you've already told me. You have told me like 10 times he's drunk. You've told me 10 times that she whispers in his ear and he doesn't think for himself. Just don't tell me something you've already told me. Tell me something new and I'll listen.
I don't believe that his detachment from her and his relationship with her is my doing or her doing.
Didn't say it was.
And I don't think, and I think he resents me because she whispers in his ear that I'm keeping her away from him, and that, you know, that, okay, I'm sorry.
Tell me something new. Saying it 10 times doesn't make it any more true. It just says it 10 times. Is there something new you want to say?
If there is, I can't think of it now. So it doesn't matter.
Don't play the victim with me,
no,
lady.
I'm not. I'm just telling you I can't think of what it is.
Okay, then I'm going to come back in a minute, and it is my turn. Here's my advice. You two need to live separately. You need to take back your house, and it's not fair for you to live in this way all of this time and then just go home and change the locks and put her out on the street. Right. That's not fair.
That's why.
And your daughter wants to be with her mother because she needs to have a chance to rebuild her relationship with you. And it is your responsibility to take care of your daughter. So you need to help a transition to get these two set up, hopefully nearby, in an apartment, in a safe area, close, part of town. She gets an opportunity to get a job. She gets an opportunity to get back in school. And you pick up the tab. I'll pick up the tab for that. I will get you an apartment for 90 days. I will pay the rent, I will pay the utilities, I will pay everything, so it doesn't cost anything. So you have a place to go, gives you 90 days to get on your feet, get a job, get things rolling, get her back in school, and take your house back over. And you need to clean that place out, reclaim it, fumigate it, get it right, and make it a home where a child can walk around, crawl around, be healthy, be happy. Yeah. And you two need to live separately starting right now, and I will make that possible for you. I will get you guys a place to live. I will pay for it, set it up, and get it done. Will you follow through with this?
Oh, in a minute.
And if you are medicating yourself with alcohol, then you need to pull your head out of your ass and the bottle and get yourself straightened up. I want to thank all of my guests today. Log on to drphil.com for more information on today's show. We'll see you next time.
On an all-new Dr. Phil.
I don't have a problem just getting butt naked and walking down the street.
I do believe that my brother is mentally ill.
My son's delusions include that he's owed a $700 billion fortune and that he's engaged to Rihanna.
I would like you to respect me. Maybe Dr. Phil can explain that. Explain that to me.
Don't tell me who to talk to. I talk to who I want to.
Look at these jeans right here. I designed these in real life.
I'll ask you to have a seat and let me finish.
Well, you're not saying anything, so I'm saying hurry up and finish.
Well, you got somewhere to be?
I produced and wrote a whole entire album for Beyonce. My sister likes to think that I ain't.
No, you're mentally disturbed.
Like, she thinks she's important.
Maybe you should find some way to tap back into reality.
America, welcome to my family.
Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
Today's going to be a changing day in your life.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. Well, you're going to meet David and Marla, who have been married for over 29 years with 3 children. David is a member of Take 6, the 10-time Grammy-winning gospel group. And Marla made regular appearances on the VH1 TV show Love and Hip Hop Hollywood.
I would like to accomplish.
So they are both used to a certain amount of public exposure. But the words public exposure took on a whole other meaning last week when a video emerged on social media of their 28-year-old son, DJ, walking the streets of L.A. completely naked. Now, both David and Marla say they are very concerned for his mental health. They claim that he is delusional and say that their son, among other things, believes that he is engaged to Rihanna, works alongside the likes of Jay-Z, Drake, and Beyonce, has amassed a fortune that will soon come to him in the amount of $700 billion, and is the most powerful person in the world, with Presidents Trump and Obama working for him.
I don't have a problem just getting butt naked and walking down the street for real. You know what I'm saying? that booty is soft.
I love to love. I hate to hate.
No, boss, I'm not crazy. I'm sane, bro.
Well, it doesn't end there. Marla and David claim that DJ, while seemingly up in spirit there and happy, is actually violent and poses a serious danger not only to himself but also to others, which is why they say they had no choice but to put him out of their house. Now, I sent my team to DJ's last known location. Take a look.
Hey, what's good, man? What's your name, man? Trey?
Yeah, what's going on?
What's good, man?
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well, man.
So this is it?
This is it, man.
Nice.
Small little hotel room, man, but I make it work, though.
I've been here for 3-4 nights now. I slept on the street for 3 days. Then, on that third day, I'd get naked again in public. And I was walking around like this little shopping center, and the police come and they really put me in a cop car and take me to the station. I spent the night in jail.
If my parents are incapable of acknowledging me as the, hardworking, well-rounded, very grounded, articulate, talented young man that I am, then I cannot be around my family anymore, even if that means I have to sleep on the street until somebody can finally acknowledge me for the great person that I am.
It's not the wackest, just don't jack it.
Marla and David say that they're here today because at this point, they want me to intervene and help their son.
As a child, DJ was absolutely someone I would describe as my joy boy. He was also a gifted athlete. My 28-year-old son, DJ, is totally out of control. He's delusional. DJ's delusions include that he's the most powerful man in the world.
I technically feel like I could run the country if I wanted to.
And that he's owed $700 billion fortune. DJ also believes that he's producing music for Jay-Z and Beyonce.
I did one full album for Kanye West, Beyonce, Jay-Z, and I. Is that cool if I sing a little bit?
You're the one I'm missing, girl, 'cause I'm on my way. Back home is where I'm headed.
He thinks he is a comedian.
I think I'm so funny that I think Ed Sheeran would think I'm funny too.
A fashion designer.
I created these pants that I'm wearing. I created this shirt that I'm wearing.
And a preacher / motivational speaker.
I want to call myself King David. I'm an inspirational, messenger of God, yeah.
He believes that he's engaged to Rihanna.
You need to talk to Ree, because at the end of the night, she the one coming home with me.
I want Rihanna to come, preferably butt naked. Oh, that booty is soft.
DJ's behavior is bizarre.
The world can see me. What's good?
He's been filmed walking around the streets in our neighborhood completely nude.
DJ calls me a I don't even feel like his father. I feel like there's a man threatening my wife.
To hear my son walking around the house, having a conversation with people who don't exist.
Ooh. Feels nice.
And using vulgar language, it's disturbing. And the scary part of that is I don't know what those voices are going to instruct him to do.
It's dangerous for her to be in the home with him.
I'm scared to death of DJ. This has become my worst nightmare.
Okay, it's good to meet the two of you.
Nice
wish
to meet
we were
you as
talking
well.
about something.
As do we.
Yeah,
Trust.
different. So, tell me this. What do you think is going on here?
He's unglued. He's totally unglued, but it's all mental illness.
I think the main thing is that DJ's delusional, and he has an alternate reality that for him is reality.
He thinks he's engaged to Rihanna, writes music for Jay-Z, Beyonce, Drake, greatest music producer worldwide, richest and most powerful man in the world, $700 billion fortune coming his way. God's experimenting with him. He's been sold into slavery by the two of you.
But that was the one that was the most hurtful, by the way.
That all fashion
right.
is based on his image. Everyone watches him. Obama and Trump work for him. His image used in music videos, film, and fashion, that he won the Best New Artist at the BET Music Awards
Correct.
in 2017. Owns a mansion, has children. It feels like the TV talks to him and that the light switches record him.
Right.
Every electrical piece of equipment outlet has an ability to some kind of way monitor him. And not just music, but all entertainment is about him.
But he hasn't always been this way.
No, absolutely not.
So what do you think has been the trigger? Is there a time that you can point to where he was DJ one day and different the next?
For me, there was a direct turning point.
And it was?
I spoke with DJ when he was 25. He was attending college away. I spoke with him on a Friday. And I have things I say to all my children. And I said, D, how was your today? Regular conversation. And on Sunday, 2 days later, he was completely fractured on the phone. I said, D, what's going on? I know what you and Dad are doing. He's paranoid. We have every policeman in the town where he was residing in college. Everybody's after me. And you and Dad set this up. And I was so disturbed that I pulled my car over and I parked. At that point, I panicked. I called my husband and I said, listen, got to get him home right now.
Now, what year was this?
That was, so 3 years ago, 2014.
But in 2010, this is before he was an A student in school. In 2010, he was in rehab for drugs.
18-month residential program.
That is a long time to be in for drugs, and he was using marijuana and heroin.
That was the culminating drug was heroin.
We don't really know the drug pathway, but it started with marijuana, ended with smoking heroin.
I put together a timeline of his mental health history, and this is based on what y'all have told me, and see if we got it right. In January 2015, you sought psychiatric help, and he was diagnosed with schizophrenia. You got a second opinion, and they diagnosed him with bipolar mania with schizophrenic affective disorder, and they ruled out schizophrenia because he showed empathy and emotion rather than the disconnection of just pure schizophrenia.
Right.
And he took antipsychotic medications for 2 years, Risperdal and Depakote, and he responded well to those two medications.
Correct.
Why did he stop taking them?
Well, to be honest with you, just the friend of the family encouraged him to come off of his meds, and it fed into the delusion. His delusion was, I'm the greatest person in the world. And to be honest with you, Dr. Phil, here's what I have assessed just as a mom. A lot of the delusions that we're seeing are things for DJ that he has an inadequacy about. He fell behind with the drug situation. He was always worried in college about the fact that he was the oldest freshman. So he went in at 23 years old as a freshman. So here you have a young man who's not able to make any money. He's never been able to have a job to be able to truly take care of himself or really produce. And all of his delusions are about that.
September 26th, he's involuntarily committed.
I walked in the door and we came upstairs and there DJ was in the family room, laying on the couch totally nude. At this point, I just kind of lost my cool.
Pure panic. Pure panic. There's rage. There's vulgarity, the conversation, and at that point, he's yelling anytime we talk to him about what's real, what's tangible. His response to that is, you don't want me to be happy. Man, I got engaged tonight to Rihanna, and then I literally, that's when the police were called.
Now, Marlon David's daughter, Moniece, claims that her brother, DJ, is spoiled and dangerous, but has a completely different analysis of why he is that way. We'll hear why when we meet her after the break.
I don't have any empathy towards my brother. He has gotten away with murder. My dad enables my brother. My parents should have made more intense efforts to get him out of the house. If it wasn't going to be an institution, then it should have been the streets.
And later,
I feel like I have to do this.
Why do you think your sister just left?
I don't know, and I feel sorry for the fact that she is impacted negatively by this.
Have a seat.
Why are we here, bro?
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil. An out-of-control daughter.
I have slapped her when she gets verbally abusive.
And what's your objective when you slap her?
To shut her up.
She's 14 years old.
She has run away from home at least 11 times.
and has an 18-year-old boyfriend.
Why are you dating a 14-year-old child? That's a fourth-degree felony.
She came over and we did drink alcohol. That was so she would open up and explain to me why she was running away from them.
You're just a loser, Paul. You have no job. You have no life.
You want to get married?
I do want to get married.
Where are you going to live? In the car?
That's tomorrow.
I'm scared to death of DJ. As a mother, my fear is facing my son in a deteriorated state.
Bounce all the way out. You have no conscience at this point. Bounce.
When DJ is responding to the voices in his head, I have absolutely no idea what he's capable of.
I'm scared for my life. I believe that DJ could go as far as to actually kill me in one of his manic episodes.
No. Well, Marla and David claim their son DJ is violent, delusional, and they fear for their lives. They say he believes they sold him into slavery. He's engaged to Rihanna and is the most powerful person on the planet. Now, things came to a head when video emerged on social media of DJ walking the streets of L.A. completely nude. DJ's older sister, Moniece, says her brother is both spoiled and dangerous.
DJ's always been annoying, spoiled, and he is dangerous.
I'm supposed to be the one bullying you. You're not supposed to be the one bullying me.
My brother DJ is no longer allowed in my home because of his sexual perversions and just his overall lack of predictability. I don't have any empathy towards my brother. He has gotten away with murder. DJ has never been held accountable for any of his actions. My dad enables my brother. Whenever DJ does something we feel is not normal, my dad is really nonchalant.
All of my cries, all of my efforts have not been heard.
I do believe that my brother is mentally ill.
Don't overcomplicate it, you know what I'm saying? Just be mad that you didn't make it. Bye.
Is walking around nude mentally well?
My parents refer to DJ's mental illnesses now as brain differences, as a way to not trigger him, not make him feel crazy, not make him feel bad.
I am desperate. My son is not a criminal.
My parents should have made more intense efforts to get him out of the house. If it wasn't going to be an institution, then it should have been the streets. When my parents began expressing to me how grave DJ's situation was becoming, I thought to myself, maybe this is their karma.
Well, Moniece, thank you for being here. I know you're concerned about your brother.
Yeah.
Right? You have knowledge and information of growing up in that household that I don't have. I'm trying to figure out what it is that you might know that can help me help your brother.
There were times where my brother would do things that I feel if I had done, the consequences would have been different. And that, to me, equates to a lack of accountability.
If he has been indulged along the way, it informs me as to why he might do some of the things. I mean, he has enough contact with reality to know that walking around naked is an outlier. He has enough contact with reality to know that that's not going to be okay. He can predict that that's going to create conflict, but he did it anyway. And so I'm curious as to what his problem-solving sequence is in deciding to do that.
He's very well aware that walking around nude is not legal publicly. So I get the lines become blurred for me at times as to how much of it is just attention seeking and then how much of it is the brain differences, if you will, or the mental illness. The only line that's not blurred is that if my brother flies off the handle because he refuses to believe that he's mentally ill and he refuses to take medication, and one of my parents ends up gravely injured or dead, that would not just devastate, me, that would devastate my son, that would devastate my sister. I love my mom and my dad, and so I think that's the hardest part for me.
What Moniece says boils it down to where we are, because either there's going to be some success in penetrating his delusional wall and getting him to acknowledge that he needs help, or there's not. And if there's not, you're going to have to make a decision to do one of two things. And that is either to stand clear of him, because I'm telling you right now, eyeball to eyeball, he is a danger and he could kill you. I don't think he would mean it. I think he would feel terrible afterwards, but I think he could kill you. So I believe he is a clear and present danger to you and to himself.
On that, we all agree.
So you're going to have to protect yourself from him in one of two ways, and that is either you're going to have to get away from him, or you're going to have to get him in treatment somewhere. DJ says he wants to be a comedian, fashion designer, part-time pastor, lyricist, producer, radio personality, scientific researcher, and for me to understand his purpose and hear him out. Well, so we're going to meet DJ after the break.
People thought that I had some type of mental disorder or something was wrong with me. I don't need any psychiatric medication.
I produced one full album for Drake, for Kid Cudi, for Rihanna, and I. No, boss, I'm not crazy. I'm sane, bro.
And later,
I would like you to respect me and respect my hustle. Don't talk to me, explain that to him.
Don't tell me who to talk to.
I produced and wrote a whole entire album for Beyonce in 1 day's time.
You're mentally disturbed, so maybe you should find some way to tap back into reality.
America, welcome to my family.
Monday on an all-new Dr. Phil. She says they were the rock and roll couple.
I was dripping in diamonds, furs.
He claims she's a raging alcoholic.
Here I am, bitch. Get out of my face.
You're doing this in front of your child. Do you remember exposing yourself to my male staff?
No, I didn't do that. Which one? Oh, Jesus.
She left her husband.
You thought he was cheating on you with his ex-wife.
I took a hammer and I went down into the recording studio.
And destroyed $40,000 worth of equipment.
I was arrested.
Then he pays to bail you out?
Now?
You go home and key his car.
And I poured bleach on his nice dress shirt.
She wants him back.
I still love him, Dr. Phil. I mean, it's just toxic, kinda.
Kinda?
That's Monday.
This is DJ's room. This hole in the door is just one of many things that have been damaged. I said, D, did you punch the hole in the door? Yeah, I was mad. It's fine. The scariest physical altercation we had with DJ, my husband was actually just trying to restrain DJ, who had become completely enraged and physically aggressive. My son drew his knees back and kicked with all of his might, and he kicked his father into the wall. His bat had hit the window.
The wooden shutters just happened to be closed, or else I would have flown out of a third-story window.
My husband would have been critically injured by going out of this window backwards.
Well, Marla and David say their son DJ is delusional to the point of believing aliens are set to take over the world. Past president and current work for him, and he's engaged to pop star Rihanna. Now, just this past week, Marla says the police apprehended and detained DJ for walking naked through the streets of L.A. DJ claims, look, this is nothing wrong with him, and he's just simply not mentally ill and therefore doesn't need any help.
No, boss, I'm not crazy. I'm sane, bro.
When I lost myself, people thought that I had some type of mental disorder or something was wrong with me because my grip on reality had begun to slip away.
Everybody like to say I'm crazy. You know what I'm saying?
I don't need any psychiatric medication. Nothing is wrong with me.
I most definitely can do what Dr. Phil does. I actually went to school in preparation to do what Dr. Phil does. I just didn't finish my degree. Trying to get on stage during Beyonce's performance, Jay-Z's performance. I'm not just making this up, this is real. So I'm excited to get out there and just talk to some people, man. The anatomical, you know what I mean, makeup of, you know what I mean, human beings and matter. I'm doing that through my music, I'm doing that through my fashion, I'm doing that through my art. Even my scientific exploration.
This is a scientific, you know, experiment that I'm working on right now. If I can get it right, it's a multi-million-dollar idea.
Now I'm trying to move on to, you know, solar energy and things like that. I produced one full album for Drake, for Kid Cudi, for Rihanna, and I am fashion. I'm walking fashion. Look at my hair. I mean, I'm a piece of art.
All right, this is the big jacket, you know what I'm saying? It's tight. It's not slacking, just don't jack it. I'm so huggable and kissable that I'm wearing hugs and kisses on my body. In terms of my outfit, do you like it?
I think you have a lot going on, though. Actually, maybe you could take the jacket off and just... Okay. There you go. Now that's an outfit.
I could even be butt naked walking down the street now. Hold my shirt.
Yeah?
Hold my shirt.
All right.
My shirt. You really want me to do it? All right. I told you I'm not shy.
Cool. So tell me how you feel about being here.
To be honest with you, I feel like if there is a negative connotation to me being here, I feel like that is under false pretenses, because at the end of the day, the fact of the matter is, what I told him that I wanted the episode to be about is uniting, you know what I mean, every person in the entire world under the family of God, for real, because when people look at me and they like to put negative stereotypes on me, they like to put a negative connotation on the things that I say and do. That is extremely false, given the fact that, you know, I am an extremely hardworking young man in real life.
Do you have a job?
To be honest with you, I am currently unemployed, but I feel like that is somewhat of a lie due to the fact that I work on my dreams in such a furious and consistent way that ultimately, you know, I'm dedicated to pursuing my dreams for the love, right? And I do it in such a furious way that I know that I'm just 1 second away from the breakthrough that I am to receive towards, you know, becoming the man that I know God has designed me to be.
What if our conversation sparked something in you that caused you to refine your journey through this life, caused you to pursue something with more focus than you had before, and instead of trying to get 10 things done, you decide to get one thing done.
To you, right? And I feel like I have to do this, right? Sure. I stayed on the street, and I'm gonna take my jacket off right now. Forgive me. I stayed on the street for a week, right? When I left the house, I was skinny. When I left the house, I was skinny. Do you see the way I look right now?
Why do you think your sister just left?
I don't know, and I feel sorry for the fact that she is impacted negatively by this, but at the end of the day, the fact of the matter is this, right? You see, psychology is more than just a mental thing. Psychology is also a physical thing, you see? So I could look at somebody that's out of shape and say they don't have their mind right. The reason that they don't have their mind right, and I can tell, is because of the way that they've presented themselves, right? You can look at me and my body and understand that absolutely nothing is wrong with me, because I've taken the initiative to improve myself, not only my mental health, but my physical health. Your lack of acknowledgement of the things that I do is a clear undermining of who I am as a man, and who I am as not only a businessman, as a spiritual leader, as a mentor, as everything that I am. You have failed to acknowledge it one time. You have yet to acknowledge it one time. That's all I'm saying. I don't even know why we're here right now, because like I'm saying, if you understand the totality and the real approach to psychology, hold on, you can look at Dr. Phil. You can look at Dr. Phil and say Dr. Phil's mind isn't right because he's out of shape. Real talk, Dr. Phil is out of shape.
Have a seat.
Why are we here, bro?
Have a seat. Don't let the suit fool you.
No, okay. I'd like to see you. I'd like to see you, you know what I'm saying? Take your suit off and show me what you're working with, dog. I want to be surprised by who you are. Does it seem like I'm delusional, or does it seem like they're delusional?
I don't see it as a competition.
Well, it is a competition. I produced and wrote a whole entire album for Beyonce in 1 day's time.
Do you think that you ramble?
No.
Are you engaged?
I mean, you know what I'm saying? Everybody thinks that I live in this fantasy land, and everybody thinks that, you know, I am a, you know, pretender. But the fact of the matter is, right, you know, I would like to think that if I'm not engaged, I am in love with a beautiful woman that I believe loves me back unconditionally, and I am ready to receive the love that she has to offer me, right?
So are you engaged?
Like I said, you know what I mean? At this point, I offered...
I just met you, so I don't know.
Yeah, what I'm going to tell you is, right, I offered my hand in marriage, right, to a beautiful woman, right? And, you know, I don't know how she's received me.
Are you doing any drugs?
Absolutely not.
You've done them in the past, right?
I have done them in the past, correct.
Well, I have some thoughts that I'd like to share with you. Would you like to hear them?
Go ahead. I'm always open to hear some opinions.
Yeah. I think when you did those drugs, they sometimes leave some residual effects, not on your personality, but on your brain. Okay. And your parents asked me to study the situation and to meet you.
So let me ask you something. After seeing what you've seen and knowing what you know, who do you think is more, grounded and based in reality, me or my parents? In your professional opinion?
Well, I don't see it as a...
Does it seem like I'm delusional, or does it seem like they're delusional?
I don't see it as a competition.
Well, it is a competition because my, physical health and my well-being is in jeopardy because somebody seems to think that I have a problem.
Yeah.
And the longer that, goes on, right, I continue to have to, face resistance, unnecessary resistance from people that are supposed to have my best interest in heart that secretly at this point are embarrassed about the fact that they have been feeding the world a lie that is no longer true.
What would you like them to do that they're not doing?
And I'm glad you asked me that question. What I would like them to do is, quite honestly, and everybody, when I say, yeah, I do music, people call me all the time asking me, yeah, do you do music? Well, how come your dad doesn't help you out? And I tell them, quite honestly, my dad wants to help me out, but the magnitude of my talent, and when you see me say things like, yeah, I made a whole album for Dre, you know what I didn't actually say? I produced and wrote a whole entire album for Beyonce in 1 day's time, in a 24-hour span, a whole entire album. I don't know, where my computer is, but at the end of the day, I could show you all the beats, and if I had my phone, I could show you all the beats and all the songs.
What do you want your parents to do that they're not doing?
I want them to get out of my way.
What do you want them to do that they're not doing?
Let me finish. I'm gonna get to it, man. Let me just chill for a minute. You know what I'm saying? I don't know where you have to be, but what I would like you to do is, the
question is, what do you want them to do?
I know. I'm talking to my parents right now when I say you. I know you're important. You facilitate. I'm not talking to you.
D, answer the question.
Just let me get to it, right?
Well,
and I'm a
hurry
funny
up and
guy,
get to
so don't get mad. You know what I'm saying? Get glad about the fact that I'm happy.
You're not happy.
What I'm saying is this, right? What I would like you to do is, respect me and respect my hustle to the point where you can give me ultimate freedom to explore the places that my hustle can take me. That's all. And if you don't understand what that means, then maybe Dr. Phil can explain that. Don't talk to me, explain that to him.
Don't tell me who to talk to. I talk to who I want to.
Well, talk on, brother, talk on.
So does that mean live at home?
That means, what that means is let Dr. Phil explain that to mom and dad in a way that they can understand it.
Well,
how about we don't understand you?
What I'm saying is I was talking to mom and Dr. Phil. I wasn't even talking to you.
Understand you, so maybe you should explain
What I was saying is I wasn't talking to you at all, so why are you talking to me?
Because you're sitting here.
You haven't been brought into the conversation yet, so wait for Dr. Phil to tap you in.
I have no desire to be brought into the conversation.
She's going to tap you in a minute.
I don't need to be tapped in. I'll tap in when I want to.
Oh, why are you cussing though? This is a family show.
You're so obnoxious and ridiculous.
I'm obnoxious and ridiculous.
Like, I don't understand it.
Okay, well, I'm
beating
sorry
up your
that
parents
you can't
is
understand.
I should understand that.
I'm sorry that you can't understand,
I should understand why I help you get a job.
The opportunity, hold up, stop right there. The opportunity that you had me to work as a security guard when I just told you I produced and wrote a whole album for Beyonce in a day.
Where's that album for purchase?
After this show, we gonna see. That's what I'm saying. B, holler at me, please. If you see this, B, Beyonce, where you at? Please holler at me. And when this album is produced, right?
I think you're not. I think you're mentally disturbed and you need medication, and beating up your parents isn't normal.
And listen to the album and laugh at the fact that, you know what I mean, she thinks she's important because she's on Love and Hip Hop Hollywood.
Not wanting to take medication is not normal. See, I'm fine. My bank account looks great. My son is sane.
Okay,
so maybe
what I'm saying is, right?
Evaluate your life and the opportunities that are being offered.
I thought you liked Beyonce, though. Don't you like Beyonce? So when we pop in champagne, listening to the album, we'll have you in mind. We'll say, man, remember when DC was trying to go off on me on the Dr. Phil show?
So maybe you should find some way to tap back into reality.
America, welcome to my family.
I'll ask you to have a seat and let me finish.
Well, you're not saying anything, so I'm saying hurry up and finish.
Well, you got somewhere to be? When you go through the drug period that you went through, I think, as I was saying, it leaves and can leave residual impact on your brain.
Like a sound, like a sound in a well-grounded and well-rounded perspective on reality. Is that what you're talking about?
No.
Oh, okay, that's what I was talking about. Okay. I don't know what she was talking about. That's what I was talking about.
It can change you neurologically.
Okay.
I mean, it can change the electrical...
It can change you and make you a genius and somebody that can produce countless albums without playing one instrument. It can change you. I know it can change you, my man. I'm living it. What you doing? Besides, you know what I mean, questioning the fact that I'm living it.
It can change
that's what it sounds like you questioning the fact that I'm living it. When I'm really living it, you just talking about the fact that you think somebody told you that I'm not living it.
It can change you neurologically where you're less efficient than you would be otherwise.
Look at these jeans right here. I designed these in real life. Look at this jacket right here.
Okay.
Not only did I design it, y'all tell me, would you buy this jacket? I'm asking y'all. Look. Let's keep it real. Would you buy this jacket? And you can tell me no, but I've heard actual countless people telling me that they would buy it. So don't lie. Tell the truth. Now, I bought it at a thrift store. It looks like an expensive jacket that people would spend an arm and a leg on. If you would be honest with yourself, I really did that in real life.
I'll ask you to have a seat and let me finish, because I let you go a long time without interrupting you.
Okay.
I didn't interrupt you.
I need to know, Dr. Phil. Otherwise, why are we talking? That's why I keep interrupting you, because you're not saying anything.
As you said, if you'll let me finish, then you might hear something.
Well, you're not saying anything, so I'm saying hurry up and finish.
Well, you got somewhere to be?
Yeah, I do. Let me tell you where I need to be. Let me tell you where I need to be. I'm going to tell you where I need to be, Dr. Phil. Let me tell you where I need to be. I need to be at a solution that could help me, you know what I'm saying, come to some sort of an agreement with my family. I thought that's why we were here. That's where I need to be. Exactly. Dr. Phil, you're nervous because you know that you're in the wrong right now. Just because you have a show and people call you Dr. Phil and acknowledge you as a doctor doesn't mean that you're superior to me. Oh, what is that, vodka?
Here's the solution that I think that will make your parents do exactly what you said you wanted them to do.
Yeah.
I think you need to have yourself checked out neurologically.
Why, Dr. Phil? Are you serious? After everything that I just got through telling you,
you gotta let me finish.
You need me to get checked out neurologically?
You gotta let me finish.
Huh?
You gotta let me finish.
What is you talking about? Because you saying crazy stuff.
You gotta be quiet and let him finish.
You gotta let me finish.
Go ahead.
Are you capable of actually letting him finish?
And this right here is Dr. Kaligi. Raise your hand so you can see you.
What's happening?
And this is Dr. Mannion right here.
Yeah.
Raise your hand, doctor.
Hi, DJ.
What's happening?
These are folks that I've worked with for 10, 15 years. They're from a place called Creative Care in Malibu. This is not some psych ward. These are folks that specialize in really focusing on an individual and giving them a chance to really be the individual you're talking about being, and can evaluate if there's a residual impact to your brain from the drugs that you've been on.
Why does it seem like people are running tests on me like some monkey and not acknowledging me as a human being?
I think if you would give me a chance for you to go to this place.
Dr. Phil, you're nervous because you know that you're in the wrong right now. I see your handshake, and that's why when you go to put your water down, your hand shakes.
Yeah.
I'm being all the way real with you. Don't be mad at me for acknowledging the truth.
Now, if you
need to acknowledge the truth, Dr. Phil, and you know I don't need to do that. Sips tea. I hope that's tea and not water. Oh, what is that, vodka?
I can't tell. The waves are too big in there. No, seriously. What I'm saying, if you would give me a few days in this beautiful place,
So is it so a few days, what's going to happen afterwards? Am I going to get a, you know what I'm saying, chance to get acknowledged as the genius of a creator and strong man and potential leader of this country that I am?
Don't know till we see what we find.
Okay, so I'm gonna tell you what, I'm gonna give you an opportunity, but like I said, at the end of the day, when you don't find anything, you know what I'm saying, what I'm gonna need you to do is acknowledge me as not only, see, I want to put us on even playing ground and saying that we say that we equals, right? Because technically, you're not above me. Just because you have a show and people call you Dr. Phil and acknowledge you as a doctor doesn't mean that you're superior to me, right?
Well, absolutely not.
So what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, you need to start acknowledging me as your equal. And people don't like it when I say what you need to do, because I don't like that personally myself.
I don't mind, but I'll tell you what I will do.
But what I'm saying is this, though. If you do not acknowledge me as your equal, then we have problems, because that's what I'm fighting for, equality.
Well, I'm telling you, I acknowledge you as my equal right now, and when you get through doing this, I will be in the front row of your balcony cheering you on forevermore.
Okay.
I mean that. If the question is, are you worth the time? Absolutely, you're worth the time.
I appreciate you saying that, Dr. Phil. I really do, man.
You are? Is he worth the time?
Yeah.
Come on, man. I'm on your side.
I believe you are. I'm not going to lie, I do.
I am, and 5 years from now, you'll look back and say, that bald-head sumbitch was on my side.
I feel you, my man. I feel you, man.
All right. I'm going to let you go with Dr. Kaligi and
let's do it,
Dr. Mannion, and y'all go backstage and talk about this, and we'll get this. Cool. Let's get it on.
All right, cool.
Okay?
The #1 show in daytime is taping now. All we need is you.
You're going to be in the Los Angeles area and want to watch a live taping of the Dr. Phil show? Call 323-461-PHIL or visit drphil.com. Tickets are free, and I hope to see you soon. I'm back with David, Marla, and Moniece. DJ is headed backstage with Drs. Kaligi and Mannion to talk about creative care. That's a giant step forward.
It's taking everything in me to not just jump in your lap, hug you, and squeeze your head off, and just
We just need to say how grateful we are. For a moment there, we didn't think, it was masterful, and we're grateful. Thank you.
Well, I hope so, and just know we're in this for the long haul, and we'll see where the next few steps take us, and we'll stay in touch, and we'll talk about this. Fair enough?
We appreciate that.
All right. I want to thank all of my guests today, especially Dr. Kaligi, founder of Creative Care, and Dr. Dina Mannion, the center's clinical director. We'll see you next time.
I think what happens is you go into the hands of some objective people that can help you observe this from a different angle.
You're telling me that I need to change my mentality because you don't know the power of my creativity.
Your creativity is a gift that can't be taken.
You say it can't be taken, but it actually can be tainted by things like psychiatric medicine. I have watched my level of creativity jump, leaps and bounds, ever since I stopped taking medication.
Can I say something to you? We don't want to see you in jail. We don't want to see you in a psych hospital.
I can't be scared by jail because even if I did end up in jail, the fact of the matter is I know that I went to jail doing the will of God, right? And God will protect me.
You told Dr. Phil that you're going to go and give this a chance, right?
What you want me to do, man? Is he to do that or be on the street, man? Okay. What you talking about?
Well, good.
Perceivingly misunderstood, and that's fine. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna knock out this next chapter of my life. I'm gonna come out on the other side like a boss.
Yeah. Look at that thing. Đã nó cay. Ra là vậy. Mình sẽ làm một tiện chặn tiếp tế vào đây chứ mình mới đặt rồi. Ôi, dùng nhanh chết viêm rồi. Tưởng sẽ XO mà.
No, XO là xưa rồi.
Thế thì chịu rồi. Đến ngày mấy rồi?
Em không biết luôn, ngày 5 luôn rồi.
Nó không có cái biệt gì. Ok nha. Càng phép 5 giây đập sẽ được. Ok. Ok. Tưởng con đáp ngon mà đẹp à. Chị Đại đứng giữa. Về sau nó giới thiệu nhiều lắm. cực. Nản mãi nó mới cho mình đánh, mình có xịu. Mình chọn mình hướng dẫn chơi. Cáo nhiều biết sao giờ tắt mạng thì không chơi được rồi. Lát à? Đây chịu rồi. Sao lại đang kết nối lại? Ôm bằng lát à? Cảm ơn quý khách đã sử dụng dịch vụ. À, cái lá này. Cái lá tăng sức mạnh được nhiều không, lâu không ổn định.
Go for the arsenal.
Kiểu nó ra ngẫu nhiên anh, kiểu mình đánh được con nào mà khỏe khỏe nó cũng ra một lá.
Là nó được giữ lại à?
Nếu mà nó xảy ra một lá mới mà giữ của nó vẫn còn 3 lá ấy, thì
dùng lừa cái không nhất. Được cái nó bút cho nhiều con khác nhau, mỗi con một cái hướng. Mình sẽ nhặt thính ở đây luôn nha mọi người.
Head there.
Căng thẳng. Ok nha. Ok.
kill.
Đây là gì? Đợi xíu nha mọi người. Ok nha. Nhảy đâu có thính ở đấy, bắn nhau ngay đi. Tổn điện. Ok.